What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have a combination of living in an urban environment with a lot of culture and beautiful things, but also being able to be around nature.
As someone who's not a Native American, the dream was to come here and do art and be creative and do it at a high level and have it seen by everyone out there, and it's definitely coming true.
I just want to do what I love and be able to make a living off of that.
American dream, it's like free, like everybody free, and then everybody friendly.
The American dream was to just come to the United States for a better and greener pastures, and I did achieve that.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Happy Bradiversary, everybody! This is our 2-year anniversary. It is October 10th. We're actually, in all honesty, about 5 days early of our anniversary. But this is the closest show we will get to our actual anniversary, because next week is Columbus Week and we're going to be off. So this will be our closest day. It is Columbus Week, not Columbus Day. It's Columbus Week. It took them a long time to sail from Spain to America, so we will be celebrating not Columbus Day.
I don't celebrate Columbus anything.
I know. It's a lot of people don't like it because he had slave ships, and everything else.
And
but
it
is a national holiday nevertheless.
Indigenous Peoples Week.
Indigenous Peoples Week.
is what the
You don't
PC
celebrate that
at all. I don't even acknowledge it.
No?
No.
Not about that life?
No.
Not at all. Well, it's on the calendar.
Yeah. And we're taking the whole week off for it.
We're not taking it off because we're celebrating Christopher Columbus. I have to do a business trip to California.
Are you kidding me? So my Columbus party is for no reason.
I will be in California
Come
too.
to the house.
What house?
Anaheim Hills.
Are
you going to be in Southern California?
I will be.
Come to my family's house.
I will. Oh my God, Brad visits the Yo-Yo family.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be. You're gonna love it.
Yes.
My FOMO is through the roof, and I will be stowing away somewhere, or just booking a flight on your credit card, Brad.
And today is October 10th.
Yes.
So happy Bradiversary to everybody. It is our 2-year anniversary. It was October 15th, 2017. 17. It's now 2019. It's our 2-year anniversary.
October 16th.
October 16th.
Yes.
I thought you said 2016.
No, the 16th.
October 16th.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my own anniversary is.
It's cool, I do.
I thought it was October 15th.
And that is tattooed somewhere on
October 16th.
Yeah.
As I was saying,
Yeah.
we went on the air in our new studio, and we have taken off ever since. And congratulations to the two of you.
Thank you.
Belgium Kim has been here since the very beginning,
Whoop, whoop.
along with Jilly Bean.
Yeah.
Who else has been? Pat Rice from the beginning.
Pat Wright has been from
Who
the
else
beginning.
has been here since the beginning? J Cube?
No.
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 Okay, so it was the
That's
three.
it.
Yo-Yo joined about
I
4
joined-
months in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Was
like that.
it?
You were about
Dang.
4
like in
months in.
April? Yeah,
four, maybe 6
February?
months in.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Wow.
It's been Brad, Kim, and Yo-Yo for at least a year and a half.
Oh yeah,
For at least
definitely.
a year and a
You're
half.
doing pretty
We're
good.
killing it.
18 months for Brad, Kim, and Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Right. And when did J Cube come along?
She was here before me, right?
Was she?
Yeah, she started a little right after.
J Cube was fairly quick when
She's
early
almost
2018. I would
She's
say.
almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And Julian, the TriCaster guy, is a good 18 months. He came around the same time as Yo-Yo, didn't he?
Yeah.
July 30th.
Uh-huh.
He
Wow,
knows
there
exactly.
it is.
He's yelling,
Wow.
July 30th, July 30th, a day that will live in infamy. I go, really? don't know why it's so infamy, but the only day that lives in infamy is when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and Julie the TriCaster guy started working on Rancho Live. Now, 2 days that will live in infamy.
Jay Lish says May 2018.
Oh, okay.
She was after me.
She was after you.
Yeah.
Oh, Yo-Yo first.
Look
Yo-Yo.
at
Yo-Yo, you're number 4. You're number 4 on the corporate charts.
Wow, I thought I was
Right.
like down.
And then Party Rock is this year.
Yeah,
Yes.
And
Brendan is
Brendan
this year.
is this year. Little Caesar is this year.
This year, yep.
And did I forget anybody?
We've had
That's
our
the team.
interns kind of
And
in and out.
Karen, who's our
Karen.
associate producer, but she's off-site.
Yeah, but she's been with us
she's
from
been
almost
with
the
us
beginning,
since the
too.
beginning too. Yes. But I'm like, no, but okay. That's what I'm told in my ear. Almost from the beginning.
Almost.
Yeah, I
She's
really
been with us for a while.
You know what? I
She's
need
been
a
with
list
us for
of
a
when
while.
everybody
At least
started.
a year.
I need a list of when everybody started.
I could start right now. I started in July of 2017. There, you can start your Excel
Do you know when I
document.
started?
When?
September 1993.
You've got us all beat, Brad.
Yes,
I think you win.
That is when I started. That was that I graduated from law school in June and started
Right.
working in September.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the year Hocus Pocus came out.
Which is really the most important
Yes.
thing that happened that year.
That's right. I think I predate Britney Spears' first album as a lawyer. I don't know, when did Britney Spears' first album come out?
absolutely, because she was
didn't
on
come out
Mickey
in
Mouse
93,
Club.
right?
Nah,
Yeah,
she was on Mickey Mouse
She was
Club.
like
She was
97,
in the late-
98.
Right. So that's how long I've been a lawyer. I predate Britney Spears.
Wow. How did you get through college without Britt telling you to hit her baby one more time?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I don't know. But you know who predates me is Paula Abdul. So she was
Okay.
the late
Absolutely.
80s. Janet Jackson predates me.
Yes.
Being a lawyer.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson predates me.
Right.
Christopher Columbus, obviously.
Christopher, that's
Predates me.
so deep. That is so random, Brad. That is
Right.
now not in any way the category
That
we were
is
even
right.
talking about.
Let me say hello to Shrew, Dionne Watson. Keisha Jacobs says happy 2nd anniversary. Lolitha Platt, how are you? And Asset Linda says, squad of my people happen to be hanging out with the most popular, exciting, and informative crew. Nezzy wants more? Well, you're getting it for at least 2 more hours, Nezzy. And Sophia Gray, Dionne Watson, how are you? Jessica Leamy, Ali Boo Beecher, I see watching. And is this God working for me? Goa.
Ooh, I like that.
He is a top fan, but maybe he changed his name.
I've seen God working for me before, but it wasn't Goa. And he works hard, let me tell you.
That
He
man.
works so hard.
Now, I want you to know something. I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I heard something and I said, God, is that you working for me? And nobody answered though, so I
Right.
don't know. Maybe.
Working for is an interesting.
I don't know. Maybe he was working for me. Somebody was working for
Somebody.
me. Ja Love is on Facebook today.
Are we double fisting that?
Could be. We'll find out in a minute. Elizabeth Francis, how are you? Tamika Nelson joining us for our Bradiversary. And Kawina Roberts Cook saying hello. No matter what, just be you. Says happy anniversary. I like that name. No matter what, just you know what? That is a very good philosophy.
That's true.
It really is a good philosophy because then you don't, you know what? As long as you're comfortable with who you are, you don't care what anybody else says. Generally a happy person, right? Because you
I
don't
like
care
that.
about what other people think. Marcia McCullough, how are you? Devin Senior, how are you? And Suzanne Johnson says happy anniversary to the team. Eva Tweet Didi saying hello. Claudette Fisher. Cordella Douglas popping in the comments. Wendy Brown, Powell Latoya. And Ben Ifiatu says, squad up peeps.
Squad up.
And on YouTube, Tracy Lacey, Max Santos, Alicia Hair Collection. You think she's a hairdresser?
I'm
Or an
assuming.
extension person?
It's hair collection?
Hair collection. Maybe
Yeah.
she's an extension person. Ja Love is definitely double twisting. El Hernandez, Jad Liad says, hello, Brad family. Alua Busola Ross saying, hey, squad. Tally, how are you? And 29 Super C popping in. Simone Brown. Mama Tarla with a question we'll get back to you in a little bit. Chuka Daniel saying, hi, Brad. Donald Horton. Hope he's feeling better. He was in the hospital, but I
He
hope
is
he's
out
feeling
and
better
he is
now.
home. Yep.
Good. Prosper. Ikechukwu saying hello. Stousy1, I guess that's S1000-1, saying hello. Christopher Zabala with a question. We'll get back to you in a little bit. And Fox Racing, and of course, D. Bean from the coffee shop.
From the coffee shop.
All right. So before we get into sharing on our Bradiversary, last week we said on Facebook that if you were able to share, how many times? 200 times?
If they had to beat, it was YouTube versus Facebook.
That is correct, Belgium Kim. And what was the contest?
So the contest was whoever had either on Facebook more shares or on YouTube more likes, got all the people that commented on each of those streams would get.
Houston, we have a problem.
Fixed.
Nobody closed the drum. Nobody closed the drum.
We made such a moment of putting everything in it.
I felt like that was done on purpose.
So Facebook won the game.
I'll tell you who won. If it was people who came out of the drum.
Yeah.
It was Lady Gaza, Abigail Taylor, and Paulette Bryce Cameron. But the game is not who falls out of the drum.
No.
It's who gets picked.
It's who gets picked.
So all three will go back in. We will close the drum. And now it is closed. And tell us again, what was the contest, Belgium Kim?
So it was Facebook versus YouTube. Did Facebook get more shares or would YouTube get more likes? And Facebook won hardcore. They got way more shares. They got over 200 shares, while YouTube didn't even break like 180. So it's Facebook.
So it was a sad day for YouTube, a happy day for Facebook. Let's get some Brad Show
Let's do it.
music. Where's my hat?
Oh yeah.
Sir,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
There we go. Oh, a little tilt action.
There it is.
Like
it is.
Got a little tilt action.
Wait. There we go, like that, right?
There we go.
You like that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now we are spinning the wheel. We said one winner. All right, these names in this drum are the names of everyone who commented on Facebook on the day of the contest.
That's right.
Facebook won over YouTube.
That's right.
We are going to pick out of the drum one name. If you're a U.S. citizen and don't need a consultation, it's freely transferable for any price you want. For any price you want, but if anyone pays more than $200, you're ripping them off because I would only charge them $200.
That's right.
All right, so who's going to have the honors? Who's having the honors?
Oh, come on.
Whoop, this person dropped out. Who's going to have the honors?
My birthday is in 3 weeks.
Here you go, Belgium Kim.
We're going to start calling in birthday favors already,
That's
y'all.
right.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I don't like
the
this
winner
picture. Now
is-
you have to read it.
Oh, this is my friend. The
Who's your
winner
friend?
is Sandra Salinas.
Did you see it? Did you see Sandra Salinas in there? Get closer.
Did we
see it?
It says Sandra Salinas. I don't want anyone to
Sandra
say.
Friend too.
I don't want to say anybody's taking any.
Yes, Sandra.
We're not making stuff up.
Can you see?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Can we zoom?
Can you zoom in or you can't zoom in anymore?
Sandra Salinas.
All right. Well, trust us. It says Sandra
I
Salinas.
promise. We'll post that.
Congratulations, Sandra. I know she has a lot of people who need help.
Yeah.
We'll see what she does
And she
with
works
it.
really hard.
Yes.
Sandra, I always get little messages from her. I
too.
get host party requests.
Very
and
nice.
she shares. So good job. I like this one.
All right, so Belgium Kim, Jonathan Yo-Yo-Ellis, before I get into schmoozing on our Bradiversary special, can you please tell everybody what they need to do to help us help them and their friends?
Absolutely. On Facebook, the first thing that you guys need to make sure that you do is join the Brad Squad. Make sure to follow that link, hit join the group. That's the official Brad Show Live Brad Squad. And the first 5 questions that y'all ask there every single day are the only single questions on this planet that Brad Bernstein will guarantee to answer at the top of social media check-in. There are no other guaranteed answering questions on this show. So make sure that you join the Brad Show Live Brad Squad. Also, if you're gonna share, which you are because you love us so dang much, make sure that you hit that share button and hit start a watch party. Y'all, that has been absolutely blowing up the numbers. You saw it last week, you saw it a few days ago. Hit share, hit start a watch party. That's gonna send a notification out to all your friends. You get to be king/queen of your castle, and you get to host your own things in the comments and just keep it going. So make sure to talk about how cute we are and how awesome we are at our jobs in the comments of the watch party, or bring it back to the real comments, because we're going to keep interacting and engaging with you. So tell us everything you think and feel there too. Also, make sure if you're listening to us and watching our cute faces and you haven't liked our page yet and hit that little bell to make sure you get a notification, you are crazy and you can't just enjoy this show without liking the page. We're just asking for a thumb, y'all, just a thumb. It's our second Bradiversary, so make sure that you celebrate by hitting that little like. And on YouTube, what do we do, Yo-Yo?
On YouTube, first thing you're gonna do is subscribe. The subscribers are going crazy, and we thank you guys so much. We are growing so fast, and it's all because of you. Make sure you tell everybody that you tell about this story and this show to make sure that they subscribe. You literally can take their phone and subscribe for them. And not only that, but hit the little bell across the, or right on the next to the subscribe button that says notifications for everything. Make sure you say notifications for everything, because you never know when we're gonna come on, and you never know when we're gonna do another game to make sure that you guys can win any type of prize. We don't know how happy Brad is today or how nice he's feeling. If he's feeling nice, he might give you guys a game. So you guys have to share to make sure to make him feel good, all right?
You know how I feel good right now?
What?
You know how many people started a Facebook watch party?
How many?
As far as I can tell, 0.
Ooh.
Yo.
Nobody listened to you, Belgium Kim. You are
Ooh.
unconvincing to anybody.
Okay, well, first of all, that's mean. I'm sure I convinced people. So to make sure that you prove Brad wrong, because I'm really gonna need you guys, because I'm a little bit personally offended right now. Based on how Brad framed it, y'all aren't listening to me, so I'm just gonna leave. Like, I can just walk out, except I don't want to do that to you guys. I don't want to do that to you guys.
Don't guilt them.
I'm gonna guilt them.
Don't guilt them.
If you're telling me that
Don't use old Belgium grandma's guilt.
That's exactly what it is.
Using old Belgium grandma's guilt.
Grandma guilt, and it goes deep, y'all. It goes so deep. Immigrant grandma guilt is the deepest kind of guilt you can get.
Again, generations. Generational guilt.
So make sure to dig deep for that guilt and hit that share and start a watch party for us, fam. I'm friends with all y'all and I'm watching.
I want to say something. YouTube, don't let me down, because I don't want Brad to come down my throat. Give me those thumbs up. We're at
Excuse me
32
one second,
right now.
Yo-Yo.
No, wait.
Excuse me, we have 130 people watching right now, and out of 130 people, less than 25% actually gave a thumbs up.
Listen,
Nobody's listening to you,
I
Yo-Yo.
didn't say it yet.
No one's listening.
I didn't say
All
it
right,
yet.
don't give me,
So I didn't say it.
don't
So
give me
listen,
Grandma Yo-Yo's
let's
guilt.
prove
What about Grandma Yo-Yo's guilt? Start using it.
Let's prove Brad wrong and go crazy with the thumbs up. All you have to do is that little gray thumb, make it blue. Everybody that's watching right now, come on, guys. We're only at 35 right now. I need you guys to go up. All right? This is for me, please. All right?
Yeah.
For my job.
It's for our owner,
And
family.
also, please share. Copy the link and send it to anybody that you want through text message blast, a WhatsApp, Viber, text, whatever you want. But you could also send it straight to your social media. So make sure you do that. And then also in the comment section, put all your questions in right now, the beginning of the show. And like I said, thumbs up. It's going up. It's going up, and I like it. Keep on pressing the thumbs up.
I got you.
Thank you.
I got you.
All right, y'all. This is what you guys have been waiting for. This is where we schmooze with Brad.
All right. It's one of those crazy pill days, Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
All day, every
Crazy
day.
pill day. It started with Donald Trump unilaterally, without having any consultations with European allies, Middle Eastern allies, the Kurds, who are actually our allies, Congress, both Republican and Democrat, plus his entire national security team.
Right.
No consultations with any of them. After a telephone call with President Erdogan from Turkey, he decided to withdraw several thousand troops from Syria that were consulting with the Kurds. Basically, what it is that the United States had managers, okay, for lack of a better term, managing the Kurdish war, the Kurds fighting ISIS in Syria. So instead of the United States bringing in troops into Syria to fight ISIS, we basically hired the Kurds to do it. And we gave the Kurds money, military equipment, and management, which is who the American troops were there for. And they did a very good job, and for the most part, at least the Kurds that we were managing, did a great job fighting ISIS, wiped ISIS away, had over 10,000 ISIS fighters in jail, another 3,000 additional foreign ISIS fighters from Europe and other countries around the world, and for the most part were basically wiped ISIS, their caliphate, off the earth. Doesn't mean ISIS doesn't exist, just means they had no property anymore. Okay.
Got it.
Now, remember what we said. Everybody's freedom fighter is another person's terrorist.
Yeah.
The Kurds are the 4th largest minority in the Middle East. Okay? They are scattered between Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Iran. They have their own ethnic identity, but they do not have their own country. So the Kurds who are in Turkey have been fighting to get an enclave in Turkey that they can call their own.
Right.
They consider themselves freedom fighters. Turkey considers them terrorists.
Right.
They are responsible for many bombings all throughout Turkey. Most of the Turkish people don't like to be bombed, so they don't like the Kurds. And Turkey doesn't want to give them a country. And really, basically, nobody in the world wants to give them a country. They have their own autonomous region in Iraq, but they wanted their own country carved out after the American invasion of Iraq, and nobody, the United Nations, Europe, nobody would give them their own country. But they have an autonomous region in Iraq. That's the most that they have.
Okay.
Now, the Kurds in Syria were helping us fight ISIS.
Right.
There was a telephone conversation over this past weekend that followed a offhand conversation between Trump and Erdogan during the United Nations, where Trump says, I'm going to pull out our couple thousand troops that we have in Syria that are managing and overseeing the Kurdistan army fighting ISIS. Once the Americans come out, Turkey wants to wipe away the Kurds in Syria. Why? Because Turkey believes that it's the Kurds in Syria who are assisting the Kurds in Turkey with their terrorist attacks.
Right.
So the United States has 2 allies. They have Turkey, who's part of NATO, with the 2nd largest army in NATO behind the United States of America.
Right.
And they have a separate ally, the Kurds in Syria, who are fighting ISIS. But our 2 allies are fighting each other.
Right.
It's a big problem. So Trump, against the will of everybody in the United States and the world, pulled the United States Army out. So what did that do? That allowed Turkey now to go attack the Kurds.
Right.
And now a war has started between Turkey and the Kurds in Syria. The Kurds in Syria are holding 13,000 ISIS fighters. What are they going to do? They don't have time to beat jail guards. They're fighting for their lives.
Right.
There's already 100 Kurds who've already died today in a war.
Right.
They're going to say, all men to the battlefields. Forget watching some guy in jail. Let him out. Who cares? We got to save our lives.
Right.
So now what's going to happen is 13,000 ISIS fighters are going to walk out of jail.
Right.
Wow.
And now we have started a big problem with ISIS again. What is that? Except, I thought you was talking about here.
Me too.
And it was Syria.
Yeah.
And so now there's 13,000 ISIS fighters that potentially are going to be released from jail.
Right.
The Kurds are fighting Turkey, and now Erdogan said that he will make sure that all these ISIS fighters, if somebody says one more thing to him about this war, he's going to make sure that there's going to be mass immigration and an exodus from Syria into Europe, and another refugee crisis from the Middle East going into Europe.
Right.
So he's threatening Europe
Yeah.
with a refugee crisis unless Europe backs him.
Right. Which is crazy. And it's true that Turkey has taken more refugees than any other country, right? They have several million refugees. But how are you going to use that as a bargaining chip to then terrorize another group?
Well, so this is what everybody's saying right now.
Okay.
So you have to understand, I am not in favor of what Trump did.
Right.
But you have to understand, nobody says, well, why is Turkey fighting the Kurds? You have to understand, they believe that Kurds are terrorists because Kurds have been bombing them to try to get their own country. So as I said in the beginning, one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist, depending on what side of the street you're sitting on.
Right.
So American lawmakers have now vowed to retaliate against Turkey. But I mean, if you think about it, before I even get into our cards here, okay, the Kurds sometime in the middle of the Obama administration have been fighting our war against ISIS. And they beat ISIS.
Yeah.
they did our job. Because if it wasn't for the Kurds, we would have had another Iraq and Syria. We would have had 50,000 troops in Iraq to go wipe out ISIS, just like what we did in Afghanistan when we had to go wipe out the Taliban.
Exactly.
The same, and Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. So Obama said, smartly, we don't want to get into another war. We're going to hire another army to do it.
Right.
And the Kurds did it for us. And after they do it and they wipe us out, what does Donald Trump do? He abandons them. Now, Turkey obviously is an ally too. We're allies on both sides of the fence.
Right.
But after one conversation or two conversations with Erdogan, without any support from Congress, without any support from Europe, the United Nations, or the military establishment, the Pentagon, national security advisors, he just did it all on his own. So now let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what everybody's saying. So American lawmakers have vowed to retaliate against Turkey and beg Trump to reconsider his decision to withdraw U.S. forces. Senator Lindsey Graham, who was one of Trump's biggest supporters, said, "Pray for our Kurdish allies who have been shamelessly abandoned by the Trump administration." Now, Graham and Senator Chris Van Hollen are working on legislation to punish Turkey, but lawmakers are on recess this week, and by the time they return on October 15th, the confrontation is going to spiral out of control, and thousands of people are going to die. The ISIS fighters will already be out of jail, and we have now caused what ultimately will be in the future a bigger catastrophe than keeping a couple thousand troops there that were not. That we were having casualties, but not mass. We're going to have mass casualties from 13,000 ISIS fighters out somewhere in this world.
And what do you think that is going to happen to the Kurdish fighters who now put all of their trust in the American troops and then got double-crossed? Do you think that harbors any kind of positive feelings for them, the Kurds towards the U.S.?
And what about when the United States wants to support another group in the future?
Exactly.
Are they going to have second thoughts and say, well, we saw what happened to Kurds?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you think we're going to now trust you? It's kind of like, you know, people remember history. And I'll give you this as an example. In the early 2000s, the United States agreed with Muammar Gaddafi in Libya to give up his nuclear weapons. The United States says, don't worry, we will protect you. We will let you run Libya. Give up your weapons. We're all going to be at peace. The minute he gave up his nuclear weapons and the Arab Spring came, did anybody come to Muammar Gaddafi's defense?
No.
Nobody. As a matter of fact, the United States encourage people to overthrow Gaddafi.
Right.
The only thing that actually kept Gaddafi in power was the thought that the world thought that he was potentially going to have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
So now Kim Jong-un, okay, he sees this. He sees what happened in history in the past.
Yeah.
He says, wait a second, if I give up my nuclear weapons, you know, someone's going to try to overthrow me and no one's going to come to my aid. Okay? At least if I have a nuclear weapon, someone tries to overthrow me, I'm going to threaten the world with nuclear annihilation. People are going to have second thoughts about not coming to my aid to keep me in power.
Absolutely.
He's never going to give up his nuclear weapons after he saw what happened to Gaddafi. It's the same thing now in the future. Other armies, other conflicts that the United States does not want to get involved in and says, you go fight our war for us, we'll support you, maybe they're not going to want to do it.
Right.
So now reports say the Pentagon was blindsided by Trump's decision and learned and the Pentagon actually learned the decision. The generals learned of the decision through Fox News.
What?
The Trump administration officials have defended the decision to remove American troops from that region, saying the president did not want U.S. forces to be in the line of fire. But critics now say he essentially has given a green light for Turkey to attack, which is exactly what we said. In a statement last Tuesday, the General Command of the Syrian Defense Forces, that's the Kurdistan Army in Syria, the group that's been working with U.S. troops, said the border areas of northeast Syria are on the edge of a possible humanitarian catastrophe. The attack will spill the blood of thousands of innocent civilians because our border areas are overcrowded. Liz Cheney, the daughter of
Dick Cheney, right.
The daughter of Dick Cheney.
Okay.
Right.
Excuse me, Dick
Oh.
Okay.
Cheney. That's his name, right? Dick?
100%.
Right? Dick?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His name's Dick.
Yes, it is.
It's not Hump Day, by the way, is it?
It is
No.
not.
Okay, so it's the daughter of Dick Cheney, the former vice president who was in charge of the Iraq war under George Bush, also called for congressional actions. He said Trump's decision paves the way for a resurgence of ISIS. I agree, and pointed to reported ISIS attacks on Tuesday. Now, what is most interesting about all of this is the business connections that Donald Trump has in Turkey.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, this
So
is
Donald Trump's sudden decision to pull U.S. troops out of northern Syria late Sunday night they've drawn harsh rebukes But on Tuesday, when Trump announced that he's inviting Edgerton to the White House in November, eyes started rolling in the back of their heads. Wait a second, what's going on here?
Right.
There's one telephone call, and now U.S. is out of Syria, and Turkey has a green light to go basically kill all the Kurds, get rid of them, get rid of the entire Kurdish army, and now Trump is inviting Edgerton to the White House. What's Trump getting out of all of this? Because we know Trump doesn't do anything for nothing.
Okay.
Of course.
Right? Have you ever known a Trump to do anything for nothing?
Absolutely
Not once.
not.
Okay? So, the fact is, okay, Trump and his family have had business ties in Turkey. The most visible is the Trump Towers in Istanbul, which licenses the Trump name.
Right.
The Trump organization describes the building on its website as a landmark in the historic city of Istanbul, and it is the organization's first and only office and residential tower in Europe, with offices, apartments, and upscale shops. The Washington Post has reported that the organization, Trump Organization, Eric and the other one, who's the other idiot? Eric and Don Jr.
Right.
Don Jr. Eric and Don Jr. are paid up to $10 million a year by Turkey
Right.
to put the Trump name on these two buildings.
Of course.
Now, Edgerton attended the opening ceremony of the office and residential tower in 2012. Ivanka Trump tweeted a message thanking him for attending. She tweeted, "Thank you, Prime Minister Edgerton, for joining us yesterday to celebrate the launch of Trump Towers Istanbul." Now, according to a review of Trump family's social media posts, Ivanka Trump made business trips to Turkey in 2009, 2010, and 2012. In 2015, Trump acknowledged having a potential conflict when it came to issues involving Turkey. He said to Stephen Bannon, who we said was the Grim Reaper. We haven't seen his name in a little while.
Right.
We have this audio. Let's listen to the audio, and then I'll repeat what he said.
I have a little conflict of interest because I have a major building in Istanbul, and it's a tremendously successful job. It's called Trump Towers, 2 towers instead of 1. Not the usual 1, it's 2.
So, yes, the Trump Towers, two.
He just goes so deep as to why he's got such a major conflict of interest. It's not just the regular one.
And since Donald Trump has been president, Turkish officials have made at least 14 visits to Trump properties in Istanbul in their official capacity since he's become president of the United States. So government watchdogs say these ties mixed with unpredictable policymaking are precisely why Trump's business dealings have been so concerning, especially since the president has refused to divest from or make a blind trust.
Right.
So President Trump gets a portion or all of that $10 million from Turkey every year.
Right.
And we don't know what else. This is just what is publicly known. And he has a telephone call, and all of a sudden, yes, President Edgerton, go wipe away our allies, come take a visit to the White House. After we know what happened with Zelensky, when he says you're not invited to the White House unless there's a quid pro quo.
Right.
Meanwhile, talking about Zelensky, 2 Giuliani associates involved in the Trump-Ukraine controversy were arrested.
Oh.
They were arrested for campaign finance violations. They were hired by Giuliani to dig up dirt in the Ukraine about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, and they also donated over $350,000 to a secret political action committee that donated that money to President Trump. All of it done illegally. They were arrested at the airport trying to escape out of the United States back to Ukraine. The U.S. Attorney's Office has arrested them. Remember what I said 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
I said, mark my words, in 2 years or less, Rudy Giuliani is going to be in jail.
Right.
This is the first domino.
Listen.
Now, the incident charges, who are these guys' names? His name is David, charges Parnas Fruman, is that his name? Oh, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman.
Yep.
David Correa and Andrei Kukushkin with federal campaign finance violations. They allege to have conspired to circumvent federal laws against foreign influence by engaging in a scheme to funnel foreign money to candidates for federal and state office. What is interesting is that Little Porky Barr,
Right.
The U.S. attorney, he knew about this. Okay, and now all of a sudden, the Southern District of New York, U.S. Attorney's Office in Southern District of New York, which was conducting this investigation, he is making a meeting with the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District this week So he's like President Trump's private attorney.
Right.
To make sure you can do whatever you want to these guys. We just want to make sure it doesn't make it back to the president. Because if it does, then Mr. U.S. Attorney, your job's on the line.
Right.
I'm sure that won't be said. I'm sure that will not be talked about. I'm sure that discussion will never
We
happen.
would never have the conversation
Right.
of the crimey crimes
Right.
over text, especially.
That is correct.
Surely we would never.
Now, meanwhile, a majority of Americans now support impeachment. This is from a Fox News poll.
That's crazy.
Okay, so it's also bolstered by a Washington Post and Quinnipiac University survey that also found a majority of Americans. So 3 major polls this week have come out in support of impeachment. And these results are further bolstered by a 35-8 meta-analysis that found support for impeachment jumped up markedly following the launch of the House inquiry in late September. And through online polling Civcus, 51% of Americans support impeachment. Now, what's going on with impeachment right now is that the House of Representatives has requested to subpoena the ambassador to the European Union.
Right.
Has requested to subpoena for testimony State Department officials, documents from the State Department, documents from the White House. And the White House says, you know what, we're not going to give you anything. We're going to give you nothing. It's all executive privilege. Okay? And basically, if they say that, what they're saying is that the president is above the law. And so now we're kind of in an impasse.
Right.
Okay? So what can the House do? They have 3 options. They have 4 options. They could do nothing and say, okay, we'll move ahead with the impeachment without these documents.
Right.
That's one option. Okay? Option 2 is they can sue the president and have a federal judge force the president, even in an expedited lawsuit, to hand over all of these documents and hand over these key witnesses. But that's still going to take over a year or longer. And by that time, there's going to be an election.
Right.
They can go arrest people. Congress arrested people in the past. In the 1920s, they arrested people.
That's
Can you imagine?
crazy.
Yeah, the sergeant of arms can go arrest like Rudy Giuliani, who's refusing to come testify, and lock him up in an office in the House of Representatives until he testifies.
Wow.
Now
Wait,
that
can we
would
talk
be
about that visual?
talk about having a constitutional crisis. That would be an enormous constitutional crisis, and obviously Giuliani would sue for unlawful imprisonment.
Right.
Okay, and it would be mass chaos. But Congress has done it in the past.
Right.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Or the last thing that they can do is they can defund that part of the government that is not cooperating with them, because Congress has the power of the purse. So what Congress can also do is say, you know what, State Department officials, you're not getting paid, or we're not going to fund this program, or we're not going to fund multiple programs. And then what will happen is, is that the president will veto that,
Right.
and then we're going to have a government shutdown.
Okay.
Why? Because on November 2nd, that's when the United States has to be funded again. And they have to pass a funding resolution to fund the government after November 2nd. And if the House of Representatives does not get what they want, there's going to be a government shutdown. And then we're going to figure out who the public is going to blame for the government shutdown. Will it be the House of Democrats and the House of Representatives?
Right.
Who have shut the government down? Or are they going to blame President Trump? And it's all going to be because Trump is not bringing witnesses and not giving testimony. That's what's going to ultimately happen. Although I think it would be fun to see Giuliani arrested by the House of Representatives.
That is my favorite option thus far, by far.
All right, what else is happening? Now, almost 2 million Californians are going to be without power.
What?
Yes.
When?
PG&E they cut power yesterday to
Yeah.
800,000 people in Northern California.
That
A
makes sense.
forecast of strong winds is posing a major fire danger, prompting Pacific Gas and Electric to launch the preventative outage to reduce the risk of forest fires. CNN reported that the outages could last a week or longer.
Right.
The wind is expected to subside on Friday, and it could take several days after the wind dies down for everyone to get their electricity back. Now, some of the deadliest fires in Northern California have been blamed on downed power lines.
Really?
That is why they're shutting down the electric. Last year's devastating Camp Fire that killed 85 people
Yes.
and destroyed thousands of structures was started by electrical lines owned by PG&E.
Exactly.
Why don't they just bury all the lines? and then you don't have a problem.
I don't know that you can. That's
Why can't you bury
thousands
the
of
lines?
miles.
But
of
isn't that
lines.
cheaper than shunning off power,
power
to
to
800,000 people?
I feel like you could do Trump's proposed solution and just
Well,
cut all the trees.
I
No
know,
trees, no fire.
I think you just. I mean, I'm no engineer.
Yeah.
But like for example, all the power lines in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Are underground.
Are underground. That's true.
Okay. We don't have fires, no matter what. We may have a manhole cover that blows up.
Right.
We get that every so often.
We do.
But we don't have fires.
Like we have an apartment building fire, but there's not like nothing.
But it's not because of a downed wire.
Yeah.
That because of wind that's going on in
Well,
California.
because could you imagine what a downed power line would do to New York
Oh my
City?
God. No, I'm just saying,
It
but
would
you
be
can bury
pure and
them.
utter chaos.
You can bury
You're
them.
right. You're right.
You can bury them.
Okay, well, Engineer Brad is on the case, y'all.
All right. So Belgium, Kim, Jonathan, Yo-Yo Alice. One last thing. I'm going to ask you to have everybody share and do watch parties. After that, we're going to get into your immigration questions. Before I get into your immigration questions, October 15th is right around the corner. New affidavit of support rules are coming out. I am going to break it all down for you. Everything you need to know about the new affidavit of support rules and requirements in about 2 minutes. If there was ever a time to share this with your friends and family so you know what is going to happen after October 15th, now is the time to share it. And now is the time to start your watch parties, because I'm going to give a very detailed analysis of everything everybody needs to know about the new affidavit of support rules, and I will not need the magic 8 ball at all, because we have it all up here.
Yeah.
Belgium, Kim, and Jonathan Yo-Yo, please tell everybody what to do.
All right, everybody, now for YouTube and Facebook. First thing, I need you guys all to become Brad Squad members, official Brad Squad members. All you have to do is click the little link that we're going to put in the comment section. And what you get with that is different incentives. So the first big one, the one that really matters, because you guys know we don't get through all of the social media questions every day. We don't get through even half of it sometimes. But the first 5 people to put in their social media questions in the Brad Squad group gets you guys get your answers for sure. 5. The first 5, all right? So make sure you guys click on that link and join, and Kimmy and I will actually be accepting as we speak. All right, now for Facebook, I need you guys to start a watch party. That's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna say, because I've gotten at least 5 different, I'm not friends with everybody on Facebook, but I've gotten 5 requests for host parties, and those are amazing, because what that does is you guys get a chance to show all your friends about this show and also be the host. You're the king or queen of your own Brad Show Live host party, okay? And what it does is it gives you the chance to comment and talk to all your friends on the side of the party, right there, the little video on the side. You get a little comment section where you could talk to your friends and family. But what I want you guys to do is make sure you send them to the Facebook page, the main Facebook page, and tell them to become a fan and a group member on there as well. And I want you guys to introduce them in the comment section. So say, hey, this is my family, this is my friend, woo woo woo, and put it in the comment section. And everybody, I need all of you guys to accept
Excuse me, did you just
that.
say whoop whoop?
Whoop-de whoop whoop.
Whoop-de whoop whoop.
Whoop-de
That's
whoop
all you
whoop.
gotta say.
Whoop-de whoop whoop. Put their name in, at them, and put it there, okay?
I was just double checking what words you were using.
Wrong with us?
Whoop, they will whoop. Okay, so now I also want you guys to please share. So share it to anybody's page, share it to groups. Last week, or no, this week, we saw, who was it, was sharing it a lot, and they were sharing it to Arlene. Was sharing it to a lot of different groups, and I saw a lot of immigration groups, a lot of different cultural groups. If you guys know any cultural group, any group where you think that they would have members that would need to know about any information of this show, make sure you share it there and just let them know exactly what the show is about, okay? And also share it into an inbox. Now, we also want you guys to put all your questions in the comment section right now. It's halfway through, all right? We still might be able to get to some of your questions that you put in right now. So just to make sure we do, put it in right now, okay? And make sure, like I say, please, interaction. Press like, love, smiley face, sad face, wild face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, whatever emotion you're feeling, we want to see it in the video, okay? And what are we going to do on YouTube?
On the YouTube, the first thing you guys are going to do, I got to do a shout out. You guys are leaving some amazing comments. and I appreciate you. So keep interacting with us and keep telling us exactly how you think and feel about the show, because I love reading about that stuff. It warms my cute little heart, y'all. So keep putting a smile on my face by leaving all of your comments right there, and put another one on my face by making sure to hit that subscribe button. It always makes me smile real big when I see that we are going up in subscribers during the show, because I know you guys are listening. And also, hit that little thumbs up. Jonathan did a great job at rallying you guys, because 77 of you have already pressed that little thumbs up. Let's see how many more before Brad starts answering questions. Like in a perfect world, I would like to see that up to 100. I'm greedy and I know, but I expect that much of you because I know you can do it, fam. Also make sure that if you love us this much and you're telling us in the comments, make sure to not be greedy and share the show with your family, you guys. Hit share, hit copy link, and paste it as a text message, as a WhatsApp message. I WhatsApp my whole family, and I have a million different groups for different members of my family. Send it to all of them. Make sure that you're sending Viber messages, tweets, Instagram DMs, Tinder messages. You know, I'm a big fan of the Bradshaw Live sharing Tinder message. However you want to do it, just let people know where they can get their immigration questions answered, and that today we're celebrating our 2-year Bradiversary. So we've been doing it for a whole 2 years, and damn, we're real good at it. Here's the moment you've all been waiting for, because we are getting answers to your immigration questions. No, we're not.
We are? We're not? What happened to our little screen? Our little... We don't have it. Okay.
No, wait.
No, okay. Oh, we're doing public charge
right,
first.
that's what I'm saying. We're getting answers to your immigration question, and all of those questions are about public charge right now.
Fine. All right. So no, I'm going to answer your questions in a few minutes.
Right.
I got confused for a second.
Yeah,
My
no,
apologies.
We told Jelly Bean, and then we forgot.
Okay, fine. All right. So October 15th, the public charge rules are going into effect, and it's very important that people understand what is happening. If you get your adjustment application overnighted, tomorrow will be the last day you can actually do it, because you have to overnight it tomorrow. Monday is a holiday.
Yeah.
But Yo-Yo doesn't celebrate it. Many people don't, which I understand.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
but Tuesday is the day your application has to be received in order to fall under the old laws. Do not freak out if this is not your application. You can come to me, please. You can come to me, please. Thank you. We don't need to see an immigration court. Do not see me, because I'm explaining something. Do not freak out. Do not freak out if you don't get your application in. If you don't get your application in, the rules are more difficult. It requires a lawyer. What's sad about all of this, what I find sad about all of this, although helpful obviously for Spar and Bernstein,
Right.
but I still find it sad, is they've made it so difficult now that it's almost going to be impossible after I go through all of this, and you'll see. It's almost going to be impossible to do this without a lawyer, unless you're making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then if you're making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, it doesn't matter, because you can afford a lawyer anyway. So this is hurting people. This is hurting working class people. It's hurting middle class people, and it's actually hurting poor people. Okay, rich people doesn't affect rich people. It's going to be easy for.
Right.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen as of October 15th. Let me backtrack for a second. What the law says is, in order for you to be able to get a green card, for you to be a lawful permanent resident in the United States, you have to show the government you're not going to be a public charge. Okay, what is a public charge? It's somebody who's going to go and take a government benefit because they don't have enough money. Whether it's Medicaid, SNAP, which used to be food stamps, public housing, whatever it may be. Now, what they used to say was that you would be a public charge in the future if your petitioner, your spouse, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, did not earn more than 125% above the poverty level in the last 3 years. That was the law. So the petitioner would show their tax returns, they would show their job letter, they earn more than 125% above the poverty level in the last 3 years, and now the presumption is you will not become a public charge. Now the rules have changed. It has nothing to do with what happened in the past, and except under certain circumstances, but what the immigration officer, and that's the person at the U.S. Embassy, who's the consular officer, or the person at your adjustment interview, they look forward. Will you in the future, based on what a totality of circumstances, which I'm going to explain in a second, be a public charge? Now, what they say is this. The presumption is that if you received, or your petitioner received, public benefits for 12 out of the last 36 months, then the presumption is you're going to be a public charge. That's rule number one. So what is a public benefit? A public benefit is a benefit that you would have received if it's based on the fact that you don't earn enough money. So for example, Medicaid, it's only available to people who are below a certain threshold. Food stamps, only below a certain threshold. Public housing, Section 8, only below a certain threshold. Disability, you could be any income and get disability. Unemployment insurance, you could be any income and get it. And it's a forward working test. And an immigration officer is, again, it's going to have to assess, based on a totality of circumstances, is it more likely than not that you are going to become a public charge? Okay, so it's the evidence. It's all of the evidence that you present. If 51% of the evidence says you're going to be a public charge and 49% says you will not, then you get denied. If 51% of the evidence says you will not be a public charge and 49% says you will get approved. So what is the evidence? What are they looking at? They're looking at your age, meaning whether you can work, your health, your family status, your income and resources, your petitioner's income and resources, your education, and your skills. And then they're going to look at negative factors. They're going to put positive factors in one hand, negative factors in another. Negative factors would be a history of receiving public benefits in the past for either you or the petitioner. If your petitioner, your husband, your family member doesn't earn 125% above the poverty level. If you are a child under 18 or an adult over 61, that is a negative factor. Why? Because a child under 18 doesn't work and an adult over 61 is most likely going to be retired. If you have a health condition, you're sick, you have, God forbid, you have HIV, you have any illness whatsoever, cancer, that's going to be a negative factor. Why? Because it's more likely that you would go on Medicaid, you're not going to be able to pay your medical bills. If you have limited or no English, it's going to be a negative factor. You speak Spanish and you don't speak English. You speak Chinese, you don't speak English. Why? Because it's going to be less likely that you will be able to get a job in the United States of America. If you have less than a high school education, it is a negative factor. If you have a poor credit history or your petitioner, they're going to look at people's credit scores now. It is a negative factor. There will also be positive factors. I talked about it weeks and weeks ago. So if you earn 250% above the poverty level, that's an extreme positive factor. So for a family of four earning 250% above the poverty level, it's $64,375. I said $63,000, but it's $64,000 because the poverty level went up as of October of this year. Last year it was $63,000. That is a positive factor for a family of four. If you have assets in the bank, that is a positive factor. If you own a home, that is a positive factor. If you receive any sort of public benefits, again, negative factor. If you apply for a fee waiver, you say, I can't afford to pay the filing fees, I'm applying for a fee waiver, negative factor. If you are under 18 or over 61, negative factor. If you are between 18 and 61, it's a positive factor. If you have a health condition, as I said, negative factor. If you have a health condition, but you have private insurance, positive factor. If you have a health condition and have Obama insurance, positive factor. If you have health insurance but don't have a health condition, positive factor. If you have Obama insurance with no health, with no medical condition, it's a non-factor. If you have a history of employment, positive factor. If you are proficient in English, positive factor. If you have a high school degree or more, positive factor. If you have to take care of children or an elderly person and that is your calling in life, a positive factor. If you get a second affidavit of support and that affidavit of support is 250% above the poverty level, positive factor. However, they will look at that second affidavit of support and say, wait a second, does this person live in your home or live somewhere else? What is the likelihood that this person who's giving a second affidavit of support is going to actually support you if you have a problem? They want to know the extent of your relationship between the person giving the affidavit and you. And they're going to weigh all of this. The negative on one hand, the positive on the other. And if the positive outweighs the negative, you get through. And if the negative outweighs the positive, you don't get through. And we'll talk about what happens if you don't get through. If you get any sort of government benefits, it's an extreme negative, or your petitioner. What would be a government benefit? Any federal, state, or local cash assistance because you don't earn enough money. That's it. Okay? That would be Medicaid, except for children under 21 and pregnant women and women who gave birth 60 days after their pregnancy. Doesn't count. Also, what doesn't count is if other people in your family get public benefits, as long as it's not you and your petitioner. So for example, if you file and your children are getting food stamps, but you're not, your spouse isn't, that's fine, it's not considered. It's only you and your spouse or you and your family member. Okay, Section 8 housing. If you're in Section 8 housing or your spouse is in Section 8 housing, it is a negative factor. And it's retroactive. What does retroactive mean? It means that you can't just say, okay, I'm going to get off benefits now because they're going to look 3 years behind anyway. So it's too late. Now, if you fail this test, and this is the sad part, the way around it is you have to put up a bond. And the bond that you have to put up is a minimum of $8,100. So if you fail this test because they say you don't earn enough money, your spouse, then you have to scrounge around, come up with $8,100, give it to the U.S. government, and they hold that money for 5 years or until you become a citizen, and they'll give you that money back as long as you did not collect any public benefits. That is the way around it. Now, it does not include people who are applying for asylum. It does not include refugees. It does not include people with U visas who are victims of crime, T visas who are victims of trafficking. It does not include VAWA, people who applied for VAWA. The immigration officer is basically going to look at everything. I just went through, I had to write it down because I can't remember every last thing. Okay? I just went through a list of 30 negative and positive factors that they're going to look at. And then when they look at it, your attorney or whoever's representing you or yourself has to argue why your positive factors outweigh the negative factors. And I just went through what was positive and what was negative. And if you're a borderline person and you think you're going to go in there and argue it yourself, it's not going to happen. Okay, now more than ever, you need an attorney. I said it's actually very sad for people because they make it that you now got, I mean, it's good for Brad, good for Spar and Bernstein, because everybody needs an attorney. But I don't want people to hire me for this reason. I want them to hire me because they want to hire me. Okay, but now they're forcing people to get good attorneys. It's actually very sad. Okay, and when does this apply? It applies when you go on your interview for your adjustment. It applies when you go to the consular officer, when you apply for your visa abroad. It also applies when you enter the United States for the first time with that immigrant visa. They're going to look at you twice, once at the embassy and once when you come into the airport. When does it also apply? If you stay out of the country for more than 6 months and you come back into the United States, they're going to ask you for proof that you're not going to become a public charge. Another reason why you can't stay out of the country for more than 6 months at a time. People on re-entry permits, they're going to be asked this every time you come in. Because re-entry permits are allowed to stay out up to 3 years. Maybe people don't want to do re-entry permits anymore. It's retroactive. They are looking to deny people, and there is a basket of evidence that you need to present, both positive and negative, and at the end, argue why the positive outweighs the negative. And if you lose, the only way you're getting a green card is paying the government an additional $8,100 as a bond that you may or may not get back 5 years down the line or once you become a citizen. That is the law of what we are going to deal with. Will people be able to get through? Absolutely. Will people get their green cards? Absolutely. Is it a simple thing that we just show a tax return and a job letter? Not anymore. It is complicated, it is confusing, and you have to actually make a legal argument, which is why people will need lawyers. And that is what is happening October 15th.
Okay. I hope people were paying attention.
Okay, now tell people to share because I'm going to answer their questions in 45 seconds.
Okay, really quickly, family on Facebook, make sure that you're hitting that share button by starting a watch party or sharing it into groups that you're a member of. And of course, set it as a private message, slide into those DMs, and let people know where they can get answers to their immigration questions right now. Yasin, what do we do on YouTube?
On YouTube, you guys have to share as well. Just copy the link and that little arrow that says share, you can share it. If you do have social media, you can share it to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whichever social media that you want. But most importantly, let's copy the link and send it in a text message blast with whatever text message app you use. All right, now this is for the next segment where you guys call in and get your answers with getting answers to your immigration questions.
All right, Hussein in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hussein, how are you?
Hello.
How you
Good
doing?
afternoon.
How
I'm
you doing?
good. I have a question. I'm originally from Djibouti in East Africa. Now I'm a U.S. citizen, and I sponsor my mother. She got her visa September 5th, and if she come after November 3rd, is anything happening?
Yes. As I just said, they're going to request proof under the new laws on October 15th that she will not become a public charge. So if she has her immigrant visa and she doesn't want to go through that bullshit, excuse my language, get her here this weekend.
Okay, that's cool. I have I sponsor my wife also. I'm a truck driver, and I sponsor my wife, and her case is being pending at NVC for 1 month now. I sent everything, but she still did not get the interview yet.
So everything got transferred from the National Visa Center to Africa?
Yes, yes. National Visa Center, but
it was transferred from the National Visa Center to Africa. Wait, come on. Why did somebody just pick up this call? So whoever's up, let me go to Nardia in Hartford, Connecticut. Nardia.
Hi, good
Hi,
morning.
Nardia, how are you?
I'm fine. So I've been listening, and I just have a question.
Yes.
So I know about the October 15th deadline, and my husband is here on a visitor's visa, and I want to put in an I-130 petition for him. But I just want to know, I'm not a citizen, I'm a permanent resident. So I'm eligible for citizenship next year. I want to know if there's any other form I need to be filing before October 15th with the I-130.
Whether you file before October 15th and after, you are going to have the same new affidavit of support problems. You're not going to beat the affidavit of support issue because you filed before October 15th. So you're going to fall under the new laws no matter what. Because it's not when you file, as I said earlier, it's when you go for your interview. Okay? Only if you file your adjustment application before October 15th will you fall under the old laws, but you're not eligible to file the adjustment because you're only a resident. But you would file if your husband's in the United States or in another country?
He's in the United States.
Okay, so you would file an I-130 and an I-130A. That's what you would file now. But whether you file before or after October 15th, even if you become a citizen down the line, it's not going to make a difference. You're going to fall under the new laws.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But as I said, Nardia, doesn't mean people aren't going to get green cards. People are going to get green cards. They're just making you climb over several mountains to do it instead of making it easier. Okay, which is why people are going to need lawyers. Where people are going to get stuck is when they try to do it on their own. And it's going to be sad, but that's the reality.
Gotcha. So you just I have to just like file the I-130 and wait until whenever how many years they.
Well, how long have you had a green card?
I'm going 5 years in May.
Okay,
So I'll be eligible.
you're going to file an I-130 now. 5 years in May. You're going to file for your citizenship sometime in February, 90 days before your 5-year anniversary. You should be a citizen by the end of the summer if you file in February. Then you're going to file an adjustment for him. So your husband should have a green card 12 to 18 months from now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
All
Thanks.
Right. Okay.
Bye.
All right. Let's go to Dina in Plattsburgh, New York. Dina.
Hello, Brad.
How
Hi.
are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. What's going on?
So I think I have a big problem with my kids' paperwork. I got my green card through my husband, and I did my 3 boys' paperwork at the same time in Jamaica. So April of this year, the 13th, was the priority date, and I got approval letter the 25th of October last year. And they say the case was sent to Department of State, something like that. And since then, I have not heard nothing from Visa Center, nothing. However, my husband had a lawyer that he used to do his paperwork. Then I keep asking the lawyer if he don't do anything else, nothing. He keeps saying
Your husband's a citizen?
Nothing. Yes, he's a citizen.
And where are you right now?
I'm here in the U.S.
And how come you have not filed an adjustment? How come you just filed an I-130 and it's at the National Visa Center?
I have a green card. I got my green card.
So what is it that you're waiting for? So what is it that you're waiting for?
These papers are for my kids.
Okay, my apologies. Okay, and your husband filed for them?
Yes, he filed for them. My stepchildren.
They're under 21.
They're all the oldest is 17.
Okay, so and when was this application filed again?
So this last year, April the 13th, and then I got approval letter last year, October the 25th.
So October 2018,
yes.
You got an approval letter, and we're now October 2019, and the case has not moved?
I haven't heard nothing. I know, as I said, my husband had a lawyer that he used, and I keep asking the lawyer, you don't hear nothing yet, you don't hear nothing yet.
The lawyer should have heard 12 weeks after the case got approved. 8 to 12 weeks.
Nothing
So,
I've heard.
so if your case got approved in October 2018 for under 21 kids filed by a stepdad who's a U.S. citizen, you should have heard it from the National Visa Center by December 2018 or January 2019. Anytime after that, you got a problem. I don't know what the problem is, but we'll get to the bottom of it.
I don't know. Affidavits was sending. Visa fee was paid and all of that.
So time out. And you did hear. You just don't know what's going on.
No, he did.
One second. Now the question is different, okay? Because what you originally said was, I hear nothing from the lawyer, but you did. You sent in the affidavits of support. You sent in your fee bill.
Yes.
So you've been processing with the National Visa Center. When was the last time you submitted something?
So, like, last 2 months ago, he emailed me and told me that he paid visa fee for the kids.
Okay, so you got to give him.
And that was the last time.
You got to give him at least. All right, your lawyer's slow, or the National Visa Center's slow, but he's going back and forth with them. So from the time that he paid the fees, and you've done all of the affidavits of support, and you've done the biographic data, and you've done all the police reports if the children are over 16, then you give the National Visa Center 90 to 120 days to complete it and get it to Jamaica for an interview. If you don't know what's going on, and it sounds like you have no idea what's going on.
I don't know what my lawyer is so not communicating with me.
You have the right, you're the captain of your boat, you have the right to switch lawyers. I would switch lawyers in 2 minutes.
If I email my lawyer, call him, and ask him a question, he just say yes or no, and
switch your lawyer.
No explanation.
So switch your lawyer. You're calling me to complain about your lawyer. You're the boss. You're the lawyer's boss. Say you're fired and hire someone else. You want to hire me? You hire me. You want to hire someone else in Pittsburgh? Hire someone else. You can fire and hire whoever you want. You don't like the guy? Get rid of him.
All right, but
hold on.
Do you do phone consultations?
Yes.
There's like other stuff that I want to say that I don't want to say over the line.
Yes, hold on one second. All right, let's go to Sandra in Atlanta, Georgia. Sandra.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
Oh, I love you so much, and I love your program because you've been so helpful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have 3 questions.
Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to know, can you drive with international driver license?
I don't know
That's the
what the
first
laws
question.
are for each particular state. I can tell you what the law is for New York. And in New York, the law says you're allowed to drive with a foreign driver's license for the first 90 days that you've entered the United States and are in New York. After 90 days, you need to get a New York license. I assume the laws are similar around the country. So basically, if you come to the United States on a very short period of time, 90 days or less, your first 90 days while you're legally here, you can use a foreign driver's license. After that, you're driving without a license.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Can you file? Yeah, thank you.
That's it?
Can you file for asylum after you have stayed after 3 years overstayed?
Can you file for a 5-year-old 3 years after you overstayed? Is that your question? Say that
No,
again?
can you file? Can you claim asylum? Can you
Asylum. Okay. You can claim, you
Yeah.
have to claim asylum within 1 year of entry into the United States unless something drastically has changed in your life. I'll give you an example. And I have no idea where you're from or anything else. I'm just giving you as an example. Okay? I've seen people who've come to the United States who were homosexuals or same-sex marriages or whatever, and they lived this life in the United States in a same-sex marriage or a same-sex relationship for years, never applied for asylum, never told anyone back home, and then one day back home somebody found out. And then that person who found out told the second person, who told the third person, who told the fourth person, and then eventually got back to the person who was in the same-sex relationship here in America, that the whole town knows, the whole country knows that they are in a same-sex relationship. They're now getting threatened to be killed or hurt very badly if they return home because people don't like that back home. And now all of a sudden, something has drastically changed with more than 1 year. Circumstances have changed. You can file an asylum claim under that type of circumstance. Otherwise, you got to do it within your first year. I'm just giving us an example.
Yeah, I got it.
All right?
Yeah, I
You
got
said
it.
you had a
Thank you.
third question.
Yes. When you talked about the public charge, you didn't mention WIC. I remember you've addressed it before. You said WIC was part of the public charge.
Correct.
Is that still the case?
Yes. WIC is food stamps, right?
No, it's women.
What is it? Oh, it's for babies. Okay. So
Yes.
WIC, if it's for babies, it's fine because it's for a child born in the United States of America. The child's under 21. It's for that baby. WIC would not affect your immigration case.
Thank you. If I
Okay.
want to hire you, do you follow people to their interview section during their interview?
I don't personally go. You're in Georgia. I won't personally fly to Georgia, but I have lawyers in my office who would fly there to be next to you.
And they'll follow me to the interview.
Yes, correct.
I know they're not allowed to say nothing, but sometimes
they're
when they're
allowed to
there,
talk. They're allowed to talk. This is what a lawyer can do. A lawyer can argue law, and a lawyer can tell an officer that he's violating your rights. What a lawyer can't do.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they're not meant to say nothing.
No, not true. This is what a lawyer can't do. Let's say the officer says, Sandra, I don't know, I'm marrying you off. I don't even know if you're married. Let's say your husband's name is Harry. I don't know, I'm making stuff up. Okay? Sandra and Harry goes to an interview, and the officer says, Sandra, where does your husband work? And the lawyer can't say, don't say anything, Sandra. He works at Home Depot. Next question. No, you gotta be able to answer that. If the officer says, for example, Sandra, okay, when you had sex last week with Harry, did you use a condom? Did you use this? Wait a second. That's none of your business. It's violating your rights. And that's when an officer steps in. I'm now just making two extreme examples, but that's...
Got it.
You understand?
Yes, I do now.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm totally using you. I'm using you.
All right, thank you. Hold on one second. All right.
Her voice. Did you hear
All
that?
right, let's go to Nana in Hartford, Connecticut. Nana.
Hey, how you doing,
Good.
sir?
How you doing?
Good. I have a couple of. I'm doing very
Yes.
well. I have a couple of questions here. Right.
Yes.
The first one is about myself, though. I did apply for my passport to become a citizen a couple of about 5 years ago in 2014.
Right.
During the interview, though, they had asked me for my tax return. There was a question about my tax returns together with my wife, my then wife, and there was a lot. My name is hyphenated, and the one on the green card is not. So they asked some questions about that, and the last question was about to get a letter from the precinct to show that there's everything, my taxes, everything was fine.
All right, so this is for
And
your
when I came out, though,
citizenship based on 3 years of a green card. Is that what your question is?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what is your question? Tell me what your question is now.
My question: can I refile it? I did pull out of that. I talked to an attorney after that because I.
Okay, so let me understand your question, because so far you haven't asked a question, but I'm going to tell you what your question is. You filed based on 3 years of a marriage. You didn't get through. You want to know. You now have a green card for 5 years. Can you refile again?
No, I have had it more than almost 20 years. I had it in 1999.
So file your citizenship now. You don't doesn't have nothing to do with your marriage anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying, I got a green card about 20 years ago.
So what is your question?
But
tell me what your question is. So
can I reapply, or I have to go petition for the same case?
You can file for your citizenship. You can file for your citizenship. The citizenship you did originally was based on a bona fide marriage to your wife. Now what I'm saying is it has nothing to do with your wife. All it has to do with, you've had a green card for more than 5 years, you pay your taxes, you're a person of good moral character, you know how to read, write, and speak English.
Okay.
Okay? Has nothing to do with your wife anymore.
Okay, so, and you can do that in Connecticut though, right?
I can. We have an office in Connecticut. Hold on 1 second. Okay?
The next question is though, Brad.
I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. The next question is, I have a sister who came in about so many years ago. She never bothered to apply for anything, adjustment of status. But now she's married to an American citizen and she wants to change her status. Unfortunately, though, she did not. She came in undocumented.
So then she needs to
is
file.
there any way out?
She needs to file an I-130 and a provisional waiver provided there was no fraud. She needs a consultation. Hold on 1 second.
All right, so you're going to come up.
Yes, hold on. All right, let's go to Rita in Boston. Rita.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for the show.
My pleasure. What's going on?
I have a question for a friend. He came in 2011 on a B1, B2 visa.
Right.
He got married to a U.S. citizen 2 years back. However, the wife is abusive. And he happened to have a consultation with an attorney who advised him to keep in the marriage and see if he can work things out and all that. But it has failed. Do you have any advice for him?
Yeah, my advice is to fire that attorney, because I think it's the stupidest advice I ever heard in my life, to go to an attorney and say, my spouse is physically abusing me, and for that attorney to say, stay there and keep getting punched in the face. What a stupid ass that attorney is. If somebody's being abused, they get out of the house and they file a Violence Against Women's Act, a VAWA case, and you get your green card on your own, because nobody deserves to stay in an abusive relationship.
Right. So can he go ahead and file VAWA?
Yes, hold on.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to Rose in Bloomington, Indiana.
Hi, good evening, Brad.
How are you?
I'm fine. Please, I have a question for a friend.
Yes.
It's just like something you just talked about now. He's been married for years to this lady. I think about 2 years now they've been together.
Right.
But they just got married last year. They went for their interview this year in August.
Right.
The immigration gave them 120 days to verify his past marriage, divorce paper back in Africa. And now the lady is treating him bad. He has been admitted several times from bruises, eye blows, and she's throwing his property out every day.
So then get an order of protection against him, because no one deserves to be abused. Go to family court immediately. If he touches her, call the police, get him arrested, and then come to me and file a VAWA case. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay.
All right. And you're in Indiana, you can do it by phone. Let's go to David in San Diego, California. David.
Hello?
Hi, David.
Okay, so I got a letter for a SOAP interview, I presume. It's the second interview I'd be doing.
Right.
Now, my wife is saying because of work, she wouldn't be able to go to the interview, which I don't think is a good reason to reschedule.
It is not.
Plus,
so let me explain something to you. Your wife's got to decide what's more important. You living with her for the rest of your life, and getting a green card, or she going to work and you getting deported? Okay? If work is more important than you getting a green card, you got to really reevaluate your relationship.
That's what I'm saying too. And like she's like not answering the phone. She's acting weird now, and I don't even know. But I'm wondering if there's any other way of, because obviously I can't show up to the
There are
interview
in these
alone.
situations, and I get this at least once or twice a week on this show. I've maybe answered this 1,000 times, but I want you to hear it personally. There are 3 options when you have a problem with your spouse and you have not gotten your green card yet. Your 3 options are work out your problems, get a divorce, and fall in love with a second woman, or file an abuse case if there's abuse. Those are your 3 options.
Okay, first off, I came in on a visitor's visa, so if I get a divorce, probably I'm not sure what would happen.
You would be out of status and hope you don't get put in deportation, and hopefully you fall in love again and you go through it again.
Okay, and another question. So she wasn't able to sponsor me. My brother did. However, I got the interview notice 2 days ago, but it's set for next week on the 16th. So it's such short notice. So I guess she has to show up there, or...
She has to show up, and not only show up, but you got to pass your exam, your Stokes exam. If you don't live together, she doesn't care about you. She's going to go in lackadaisical. You're going to fail anyway. You guys got to be on the same page, and you got to be concentrating on what you're doing. We do Stokes interviews on the street all the time, and people who love each other fail.
That's true.
Hold on, you need help. You need help. I can't solve your marital problem on a show. I can't do it. I'm telling you what you need to do. You need help. Figure it out. Let's go to Stacy in Washington, D.C. Stacy. Stacy.
Hello.
Hi, Stacy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on?
If you're getting your 10-year green card, will the public charge affect you?
No, it's only for getting the conditional card, not the 10. And it doesn't affect your citizenship either.
And do I need like an affidavit of support?
No.
If I'm just removing the condition?
No.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So we don't have a... I see. Okay. So if you're injured in a construction site accident, we're going to come back to immigration questions in a second. But if you're injured in a construction site accident, you're due compensation for your injuries and loss of ability to work. Insurance companies will usually fight to pay out, and if you don't play your cards right, you may unwittingly hurt your case. Now, Spar and Bernstein's personal injury attorney and partner Moshe Bulldozer Baruch discusses one of the biggest pitfalls to watch out for in a construction accident case. We'll be back to answer more immigration questions in a few minutes. Let's watch. Every year, 10% of construction workers in the United States of America get injured on the job. According to the Census of Fatal Occupational Injuries in 2017 alone, 5,147 construction workers died on the job. When an accident leaves a construction worker incapacitated, they and their families lose the financial security they once had. A good attorney is needed to make sure that the injured parties are compensated to the highest level, because most of the time they will never be able to work again. And there is one bite of the apple when it comes to fighting for compensation in court. With me to discuss what to do if you or your loved one is involved in a job construction accident is Spar and Bernstein's very own personal injury attorney and partner, Moshe the Bulldozer Baruch. Moshe, how are you?
Good.
We've already talked about, if you've been watching our series here, about using your telephone, not speaking to people, taking videos and pictures of what's around you, not trusting anyone but your doctors and your lawyers, going to the hospital by an ambulance who can document what happened, and now going for medical treatment. What are some of the pitfalls, Moshe, that somebody out there can do that they wouldn't be thinking otherwise is a problem that's going to come back and haunt them to affect their construction accident case?
So Brad, I tell people this all the time. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. And when I say that, I mean if you're complaining of pain to your lower back, you don't go and put videos of you doing yoga on Facebook, Brad.
Did that really happen?
That has happened to us several times, and not particularly this situation, but we did have a client who was injured severely to her back.
And she was really, to her credit, she was injured.
She was injured.
And did this through the pain.
Oh, absolutely. But the problem was she thought doing yoga would help alleviate the pain that she had. But because insurance companies are involved, what the insurance companies do is they go out and investigate what she's doing in her private life. And what they found in this case, Brad, was that she was teaching yoga. She was a yoga instructor. And so when the insurance company sees that, they don't believe that you're injured anymore. Although, again, yoga, for purposes of yoga, you want to make yourself feel better.
Even though she was legitimately in pain, legitimate injuries, she did things that maybe worked through her injuries that you can take this video and show it to a jury and say, jury, does this woman look like she's in pain?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Does this woman look like she deserves millions of dollars? No. Even though she is literally in pain, even though what the doctors are saying are truthful, a video is very demonstrative and can sway people's minds. Insurance companies look at your social media all the time. You have to be really, really smart about what you're putting on social media, what you're doing in social media. Correct?
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're injured is they put their personal lives on Facebook, and you're showing the world that you're living a good, healthy life. And you don't want to do that because an insurance company, that's ammunition for them. And you don't want to give them that ammunition, Brad.
Tell us about a case, Moshe, where somebody listened to you. They didn't put anything on social media. A good construction case where you were able to handle it.
One of my clients was very smart. What he did was he deleted his Facebook account, he deleted his Instagram because it was a huge case, Brad. And what he did was he put an alter ego as his Facebook name, and now that when an insurance company is trying to go and search for his name, they couldn't find it. So that guy, Brad, who protected his Facebook account by using an alter ego, we got him $3.5 million.
Wow, that's amazing. Great job, Moshe.
Thank you, Brad. And that's one of the best things you can do. I'm not advocating for that
Right.
because obviously some people don't want to do that, but that just shows you what lengths people are willing to go to protect their case, and I think that's very important.
All right. Well, Moshe, you've gotten people millions and millions of dollars in construction accidents, literally millions of dollars, case after case after case. And God forbid anybody is injured in an accident. You need Moshe Baruch, the bulldozer, to help you. Because the difference between getting millions of dollars and getting something less than millions of dollars is going to be the attorney that you hire. Give us a call. Give Moshe a call here at Spar and Bernstein, 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-529-5465. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right. Folliot in Colonial Heights, Virginia. Folliot. Folliot.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm so happy to hear from you.
Thank you. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I just want to confirm. I'm on a 10 years green card.
Yes.
Yeah, I already have, but I had a misunderstanding with my husband that I got miscellaneous and domestic abuse. But I wanted to file my citizenship, but I was so scared. I don't know what to do again because he says my PO said my professional officer told me that it's show not received on my background check.
What do you mean not received?
Because I did the 6-month classes for the first offender offense because
All right. So you have an arrest. Tell me what this arrest was again.
My husband, me and my husband, we had a misunderstanding at home, so he called the police on me. Then I got arrested, and they charged me. But he wanted to dismiss, but it was too late. But later they said that if I do the first domestic miscellaneous and domestic abuse on family assault.
Where did this happen? In Virginia?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So this is what you're going to need to do, because unfortunately I don't know the penal code of Virginia off the top of my head. So when you tell me first offender status and this is what I did, I honestly don't know. What you need to do is have a consultation with me, go to the court and get the disposition. You send me the disposition, it'll say what you were arrested for and what you were found guilty of, if anything. And then I'm going to look up the Virginia penal code, and then I'm going to tell you if you have a problem or not. But other than that, I don't know the answer. All right,
okay,
so
because I already...
Don't do anything until you do that, because you want to make sure you're not going to have a problem. So hold on 1 second, okay? Let's go to Khadijah in Houston, Texas. Khadijah in Houston, Texas. Khadijah.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I'm good. I have a question. I saw one of your videos that you were talking about
the new law for filing for your spouse
Right.
for October 15. I just now saw that video, and I'm planning to file for my husband. I'm a U.S. citizen. So I don't know.
Okay, what you need to do is at the end of the show, rewind to about 30 minutes. I talked about it for about 15 minutes about the new affidavits of support. Okay, so just watch, go back and rewind about 30 minutes in. I talked about it, okay? And then call us back, okay? All right.
All right, Mr. White. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Sheikh in Dallas, Texas. Sheikh.
Yes, how you doing,
are
Mr. Bernstein?
How you doing?
Good. Okay, so my question is, I'm filing for my wife's N400,
Yes.
the naturalization application.
Uh-huh.
So there's a question that asks whether there was a detainment arrest by a police officer or immigration officer.
Right.
The question number 23.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back in 2009, we used to live in Canada back then.
Right.
So she was trying to come to the U.S. on a visitor visa. At that time, she had a visitor visa.
Right.
And at the Vancouver Canadian Airport, the immigration officer stopped her because she had a one-way ticket or something. And then they canceled her and revoked her U.S. visitor visa and sent her back to Canada. Well, it was at the Canadian airport anyway. So the officer called me and said, hey, come pick up your wife. We're not letting her go into the U.S. today.
Was this the Canadian officer or an American?
No, American officer, because in
Okay,
Vancouver Airport, there's a U.S. immigration officer.
Okay, so they do pre in there. Okay. So then you got to admit it.
So, and then that was 2009, but in 2014, she and we all got our green card through her U.S. citizen sister. So we're now living in the U.S. in Dallas.
Okay, wonderful.
So now,
as long as that was disclosed when she got her green card, it's not a problem. If it wasn't disclosed,
yeah, we disclosed it
then it's
whether
not a
the visa was revoked, we said yes, and everything was fine.
Then say the same
So
exact
now-
thing. It's the same thing. Nothing's changed.
So we're gonna say yes, she was detained
Correct.
or something,
Yes, you tell the truth. Err on the side
and we're
of
gonna
caution.
explain what happened.
Correct.
Okay. Second question, sir, is that so? It says write down all the addresses and your work history to the 5 years from the day of application, right? So do I only go to the exact 5 years, or I mean, I guess the question is
go at least 5 years.
Okay. So I mean, so here's what happened. The question is, so we got our green card on September 8, 2014. So we used to live in Canada. We're Canadian passport holders. So we used to live in Canada. We traveled to the U.S. to get landed immigrantship at the green card. And we went back to Canada and lived in Canada for 3 months to sell our homes and everything,
So then, that's what you say.
So we're counting from the day we landed in U.S., right?
Correct.
Through the border.
Correct.
Okay.
right.
So that's all, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Joy in Chicago, Illinois. Joy. Joy. Joy's doing the dishes. Let's go to Ayman in Chicago. Ayman. Amen. Aymen. Aymen. I think he's doing the dishes with Joy. Let's go to McKinley in Pennsylvania. McKinley.
Yes.
How are you?
Hi, good day. I'm good, and you?
Good. What's going on?
Okay, so I have a VAWA case. I applied since July of last year.
Right.
They sent me the prima facie,
right,
and it's expiring on the 18th of this month. But I haven't received anything else. Before that, they sent requests for more evidence. I did send that in, and it's stated now that they received the evidence and they'll get back to me, but I haven't heard anything since.
Well, the story with VAWA is this. I mean, there's no funding for VAWA, although immigration seems to keep accepting cases. I have not seen VAWA cases getting approved lately. There's now an impeachment fight, so nobody's taking up VAWA in the government at the moment. There's going to be a government shutdown November 2nd over whether or not Trump is going to send documents that are subpoenaed by the House of Representatives. And maybe as part of the resolution of that shutdown and the subpoena of the documents, maybe something will come from VAWA. We all just got to sit tight and see what happens.
Okay, thank you.
Right, okay. Let's go to Sadie in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sadie.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. I have a quick question.
Yes.
I filed my I-130 form for my husband in February, and we got approved last month.
Right.
So if his interview is after October 15th, do the rules apply to us?
Yes.
It applies to us.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. Let's try Joy. See if she's done with the dishwasher. Joy.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. Hi, Brad.
I'm making fun. I'm only joking with you, but it sounded when I came to you earlier, it sounded like you were clinking dishes. It sounded like you were doing the dishwasher or something.
No, I wasn't hearing.
All right, Joy. What's up?
Yeah. I came with a visa of a B2, B1, and I filed for asylum. I was denied. And later I was arrested in New York, and they referred me to the squad in Boston. And right now, I believe I need a qualified lawyer.
You got arrested. Who arrested you? Immigration? You got arrested on a criminal charge?
ICE. I was arrested by ICE.
Okay, so so you're in deportation now. You definitely need a lawyer. I'm not going to solve your problem on this show, but hold on one second. Let's go to Eamon or Iman in Chicago. Eamon.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Is it Eamon?
I'm doing. Oh, it's Eamon. Yeah,
Eamon, okay.
I'm a big fan. Actually.
Thank you. What's going on?
So here's the thing. I came 4 years ago to the U.S. under a J1 visa.
Yes.
It was funded by the U.S. Department.
Yes.
It was for 3 weeks, and then I went back to my home country, and then after a year and 5 months, I came back under a tourist visa, and then I ended up overstaying. And when I entered, I was 17 years old.
Did you have a 2-year home residence requirement?
Yeah, the home residence requirement.
All right, so you haven't satisfied it because you didn't stay out for 2 years yet.
Yeah, I didn't stay in my country for 2 years.
Where you from?
So no. Say what?
Where you from?
Algeria.
Okay.
So basically, what are my chances? And I'm married to a U.S. citizen also. So
you need to get a no objection letter from Algeria and hope that the U.S. government will approve it as well. You can do a hardship waiver too, but we need to get you a waiver. Other than that, you got to go home. So hold on one second, okay? You still need to do your 2-year home residence requirement. Hold on.
If I go home, I'll have to ban for 10 years.
It's a process. It's a process. You still, even if you've been here for 30 years, if you didn't satisfy the 2-year home residence requirement, you still need to do it or get a waiver. So hold on one second. Yeah, because the 2-year home residence requirement says no change of status, no green card, no H or L visa. You're still able to come on an O or a B, which is what you came on. So hold on one second. You need help to get the waiver. All right. With that being said, we're going to get to social media check-in very shortly. Okay. But Jonathan recently went to the 4th annual Hispanic Heritage Family Day in Washington Heights.
Oh, yes, I should.
Yes, and the event coincided with Hispanic Heritage Month, which is ending on October 15th.
It is.
Let's watch.
What's up, Brad Squad? This is Jonathan Elias at the 4th annual Hispanic Heritage Family Day in Washington Heights. Now, every year, Hispanic Heritage Month falls between September 15th and October 15th, coinciding with the independence days of 7 Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Mexico, and Chile. Now, you already know I'm gonna take you within the festivities, introduce you to some of the family get-togethers, but most importantly, we're gonna interview some of the vendors and the attendees, all right? Stay tuned for some fun, salsa fun. Hey, whoo. Watch the hips, they don't lie. All right. Ooh, okay. As you can see, baby boy's got the moves too. First of all, what's your name and where you from?
My name is Grana Chavarria. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a recreation specialist over here at J. Hood Wright Recreation Center here in uptown Manhattan.
Nice.
And we're just over here, trying to provide some programming for the community and to have some fun. Today we have Hispanic Heritage Day for families. We got some arts and crafts going over here on the side, basic salsa lessons. Right before that, we had some Zumba lessons by an instructor that comes over here on Saturdays as well. And we're gonna have a little music just in a little while too, so you have a chance to do some dance.
This is the 4th annual Hispanic Heritage Family Day, right? So have you been before? Have you been to all four?
First one here. This is my first one here.
Okay.
And I knew, automatically I wanted to get out and, get some, music playing and everything, and try to get some of the members, involved. We have a lot of adults and seniors in this community, and, activities like dancing and movement. It's very important because we want to, make sure that we keep, our, community thriving and healthy, and it's a way to keep myself, in shape as well.
Of course.
And it's just important to show that, there's something for the community to do other than, just being home.
All right, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Amazing. What's your name?
Michaela.
Michaela. Hi.
Say hi, Stella.
Oh, they are busy. So it is the Hispanic Heritage Family Day. Why is it important for events like this to happen, cultural family events like this to happen in your neighborhood?
For me, it's important because their dad is Dominican, but he passed away. So for me, it's really it's a blessing because it's like carrying on something that I can't necessarily do just by myself. And they have a lot of family on his side that are wonderful, and yeah, just like having people together and like keeping that part of them alive is really important to me personally.
Yeah. Why is it important, even if it's not your actual heritage, why is it important to instill that into your daughters and to keep that culture very strong in their life?
I think it just shows them like inclusiveness and togetherness and community. Like community is that. It's everybody like in their little groups coming together, enjoying the park, enjoying each other, enjoying music. That's huge for me.
And I want to know, what's your immigration story?
I'm Polish. My dad immigrated when he was from Poland when he was about 8 or 9 years old.
Wow.
Also Jewish. So my other side of the family, they were born here, but they are German Jewish. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So do you feel like because they came to the States, you're able to now live your American dream?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we don't think about it on a daily. We should, but we don't. But yeah, like I wouldn't be if they were if they didn't make this trip. Yeah.
All right, I'm here with my favorite dancer because I saw you out there.
Thank you.
You were amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah. Oh, please. Are you excited about today's event? This is the Hispanic Heritage Family Day.
Yes, it is. It is a great thing for us, the Latin people that come to the park. The community needs those events. These events are awesome for them.
And is this your first one here?
No, I come every Saturday at 10 with Winsome. We do Zumba. We have been here for 5 years almost. So
why is it important for cultural events like this to happen?
Well, it gets us together and we learn about the programs that the New York City parks have, enjoy the event.
Yeah, and I want to know, what's your immigration story? Where have you come from?
I came from Dominican Republic 22 years ago. I'm still here, so my roots are in Dominican Republic.
Yeah. All right, how you doing?
I'm all right.
All right, what's your name and where you from?
Parish, Cleveland. I'm from Harlem.
Okay, awesome. So what are you guys doing here today?
We're putting together a Hispanic Heritage Family Day. So, we're in Washington Heights, so it's speaking Hispanic heritage up here. So
nice. So how has the arts and crafts been so far? It looks like a lot of kids are super excited about it.
Yeah, this has been like the busiest thing going on besides this and the dancing lessons. So for the most part, it's just been busy all day with the kids coming back and forth. So
why is it important for events like this, cultural events like this to happen? And not only that, why is it important for other cultures to come and participate?
Right. I mean, I just feel like it's big because everybody has their own thing that they celebrate. So me being Hispanic as well, and then you have others that have you have Jewish people who have their own thing, African American they have, so it's okay to celebrate everybody's own heritage.
So what's your immigration story?
I'm Panamanian, and I'm Costa Rican. So beyond that, I was born here, but my parents were born in Panama and Costa Rica. Beyond that, I'm Americanized, so
right.
But I celebrate Hispanic heritage.
Well, there you have it, Brad Squad. A day full of fun, family, and culture. This is why it's so important to have cultural events like this in the community, because it brings families together and it teaches you about your heritage. But not only that, you can bring other cultures in because we are all one. And I love covering events like this because it shows just that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Back to the studio.
All right, we're going to do social media check-in. There we go. All right, what do we got?
Christ Mouthpiece says, on Monday you said you answered one of my questions, but I'd like some clarification. You said that one could work if one is out of status and married to a U.S. citizen. So I'm wondering if one is being asked by the USCIS officer during the interview for the adjustment, what would someone's answer be? Would they be honest that they worked out of status?
Yes, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, yes, you're honest, because it doesn't prevent you from getting a green card.
And second, if there's a typographic error in the spelling of someone's name in the travel documents application, what could somebody do even though they pointed it out to their attorney, but the attorney said, no problem, it doesn't matter since the right name is on the work authorization. Is that true?
Well, if you're traveling and if you don't got the right name on your travel document, you're getting stuck. You're not getting on a plane.
Right.
So that attorney's a dummy. You need to get the right, your name's got to match the passport or you're not getting on the plane, let alone getting through immigration.
Right.
All right, John saying, hey, I filled an I-360 VAWA on August 31st, 2018 and got the prima facie on October 24th, 2018. After that, I filed the I-485, I-765 on May 3rd, 2019. Now, I filed the I-765 EAD under the C-31. It's possible to get the EAD before the I-360 approved?
Yes, file a new I-765 under C-9 because you filed the adjustment.
Okay.
New Moon said, could I travel to Africa with a combo card while my adjustment of status marriage interview is on review?
Yes, but don't stay out for more than 2 to 3 weeks.
L. Garcia is saying, can my sister, a green card holder, adopt and file for my 16-year-old daughter who overstayed her visa?
You can't adopt over 16. But if she's here, you can do a SIJ. So give us a call about SIJ, Special Immigrant Juvenile. It has to be done before 18.
Oh. Perfect.
Damien said, how long after you get your 10-year green card can you get a divorce?
Anytime after.
Mass saying, hey, Brad, just came to the U.S. with a IR1 visa?
Yes, marriage.
Okay. How long before I get the green card, fee paid on the 26th of last month?
About 8 weeks.
Okay.
Jad said, I entered the U.S. with a K-1 visa and I got married, but before my interview, I got divorced. I applied for VAWA in October of 2018 and it's still in the process. Could I apply for matter of cesse?
Yes, you can. You have to withdraw the adjustment on the VAWA, file matter of cesse, because there has to be an affidavit of support filed because you filed an adjustment. So there had to be an I-864. So yes, matter of cesse applies.
All right, God working for me says, hey, Brad, my friend came to the U.S. on a B1, B2 visa and never knew his girlfriend got pregnant for his, and they never talked for 5 years. He got married to an American citizen, and she filed his papers, and he got his green card before getting to know he had a child. Can he file for this child?
As long as he has a bona fide parent-child relationship with this kid before 18, yes.
Dorothy Smith said, I came here from Jamaica 18 years ago on my sister's papers. Now my daughter's a U.S. citizen. Could she turn around and file for me?
Yes.
Frank,
wait, how'd the daughter get her green card?
I have a feeling like daughter was born here. Because she came to the, she came here 18 years ago?
Yeah, as long as daughter can file for you when you're 21.
All right. Last one for right now. Francia saying, I'm a K2 visa holder and I'm now 24 years old, married to a U.S. citizen. I didn't file for the AOS before 21. My parents got married within the 90 days. However, I came before 21. How can I adjust my status now?
Hopefully your spouse, you can file an adjustment as a K2 visa holder. You don't need an I-130. You should still be able to file your adjustment. As long as your stepdad who gives you an affidavit of support, and your mom as well. You should be able to.
All right.
You need to come in and see us. All right. With that, this is our Bradiversary.
It is.
It's our Bradiversary.
So Brad Show Live, our digital show at least, premiered October 16th, 2017. We are celebrating our 2-year Bradiversary a little early this year. We had lots of laughs, lots of teaching moments, and lots of incredible guests. And we thought it would be fun to take a walk down memory lane with our beloved Brad Squad. Let's check it out. Hello, how are you all today? It's a wonderful day in Bradshaw Live neighborhood. My name is Brad Bernstein. I know how to clap. Belgium Kim, I don't know why I just did that. Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elliott. You also know how to clap. Brad Squad, welcome back.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Schmoozing with Brad.
In my hand is everything you will ever need to know about the day's events. I can fan myself with these if I choose to.
You can.
But instead, we're going to go through them very quickly. As I've always said, there is an enormous link between climate change and immigration because people can't live where they are living. 750,000 people don't have a home. This is a non-Trump story show from now on. Unless, of course, he says something absolutely outrageous or something regarding immigration. Now, for those of you who don't know what Sharpie Gate is, Donald Trump took a Sharpie and changed the back. There's the Sharpie. I mean, it just looks like a fourth grader did that. Just when you think nothing could get more absurd, Donald Trump is getting some criticism for inviting the Taliban to Camp David for peace talk the week of the 18th anniversary of the 9/11 attack. The Department of Homeland Security released a new rule for affidavits of support that's going to affect more than half of the people who are applying for green cards, and it's going to affect them negatively. It is your burden to prove to the government that your relative will not be taking need-based government assistance. Of the nearly 500 delivery workers surveyed, 28% said they munched on the food from an order. I ordered up today, and I only got half my sushi.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. It's very true.
Sorry to hear about your sushi.
Can we let the camel out of the cage, please?
Let him out.
Can
Oh,
we
he's been
let
waiting
him
to
out?
run.
He was running. He
Look
keeps
at him.
running out that cage.
People thinks there's a NSFW scene in the Chicago Bulls logo.
Not safe for work.
Not safe for work. They think the image of the angry bull, when turned upside down, looks a bit suggestive. And that is the bull upside down. And by the way, Jonathan, do you know what the difference between a snowman and a snowwoman is? The snowballs.
The snowballs.
Snowballs is the cooling underwear you never know you need it. Couples who are looking to conceive and are having a problem, one of the things the man can do to increase his sperm count would be to wear the snowballs. Wet sugar, wet sugar. Back from the radio days when Wet Sugar used to watch, it was our code word when the show would go completely off track.
Absolutely.
I have the strong back here. Are you supposed to chew this?
I don't think so.
Sun is shining, the world is still here, except my thing here is all screwed up.
And they would notify me of anything else. I received an email that my name was updated for my I-765, but she hasn't received her biometrics or anything else.
Well, you wonder why the 8-ball works?
Why?
Why?
Because this is old school.
Get an answer to your immigration questions.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Melissa, how are you?
I got my 10-year green card.
All right, congratulations. Philip, how are you?
Are we on hold with Philip? Like,
Yes.
did Philip put us on hold just now?
Yeah.
Nice music.
It's very nice.
Pretty soothing.
You have 3 options. Option number 1, do nothing and wait for a hearing whenever that may come. Option number 2 is to do any one of these things as service requests. Go down to immigration and ask them, hey, what's going on? Ask your congressman. The only time you get someone to look at a case is when a federal judge says, hey, look at their case. Call the mandamus.
Mandamus.
Mandamus!
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Natasha. How are you?
Love you.
Say I love you
have
too.
a
I don't know you
question.
though, but all right. I love you too. The world should know I love Natasha from Miramar, Florida. Right? She loves me. I should love her back.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Actually, the question was from me, her husband.
They discriminate against dads who were never married to the mother. Not only do you have to prove you're the biological father, you also have to prove that you had a relationship with your child between birth and 18.
Congratulations on educating the public. Thank you so very much.
Listen, Uncle Brad.
What's going on, Frank? Uncle Brad. I'm getting called Uncle Brad by everybody.
I like it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm Mr. Rogers now. It's a beautiful day in the studio. A beautiful day in this studio. Won't you be mine? Everyone has to put a thumbs up on our YouTube right now.
Let's keep it going.
Keep
Thumbs
it
up.
coming.
Keep it going.
You're
Keep
like,
it going.
you're like Jerry Lewis on the Labor Day telethon. We're almost reaching our goals. Help the kids. We could have a Brad Squad convention.
BradCon.
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 BradCon. Imagine BradCon in New Kingston, Jamaica.
Far out.
And
we love from each other. From another to another.
I'm gonna tell you something. Oops, I did it again. I made up my mind. I got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby. Right? The 21st night of September. Anna Nicole's like, Brad said talkie talkie. I felt like dancing. Talkie 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 talkie.
Y'all remember that? Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis?
Janet Jackson's producers from Minnesota.
Yeah!
All
right.
I like that, huh? I knew it.
I love you, Janet.
First time I heard of Shakira was from the song, Your Hips Don't Lie. Was she like famous before?
Whenever we together, I'll be there and you'll be there. And I'll study on my dear.
Back!
P.S.L.
I goes like this. Be the best at that. I can't do it though.
Look like you should be in Miami.
Huh? You like that? Like
Yeah.
that, huh?
Yeah.
Like in Palm Beach.
Like drinking a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
Talkie, 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 talkie. We have a
Like a-
multicultural
like a
high five.
city- yeah,
Multicultural. We need multicultural
Doing
high five. Knowledge is power.
Ooh.
Come back to me again. Knowledge is power. Ooh. Correct. Serving in the U.S. military does not automatically mean citizenship. And even a U.S. military veteran and their family members can be deported. You serve in active war in the military, you put your life on the line, you don't deserve what Miguel got. He did his time like anybody else, and he should get to live in America. Miguel, we'll put in our help that we can, and hopefully we'll see you back in America. Congratulations to Miguel Perez Jr. He finally got his criminal case overturned in August. Governor J.B. Pritzker in Illinois vacated his conviction and allowed him to apply for U.S. citizenship. He was just invited back and became a U.S. citizen. How is this organization going to continue now that you're a U.S. citizen?
I made a commitment for another year because part of my advocacy is what helped me get home. So, I really believe in leaving no man behind. I know my family will understand. Never give up on your hope to return to the United States because anything can happen. Laws could change. It's very important to continue to fight and move forward.
Because any word that we use should be inclusive. It should make them feel and make us feel that they're part of us.
As I always say on my show, that words matter. And the words that you use matter, and it changes the political discourse and how people think.
These people are not victims. They are survivors. They're strong.
Those grannies are out of control.
You don't mess with the grannies, right?
No.
The National Butterfly Center in Mission, Texas, is located in the Rio Grande River, right on the U.S.-Mexico border. Joining me to discuss how the National Butterfly Center is fighting to save its land and all the precious flora and fauna it preserves in the midst of the government's fight to build a border wall right through their property is the center's executive director, Mariana Trevino Wright.
We're all for national security. And if we thought that this border wall, which is going to be built over 2 miles inland in some places in South Texas, would do anything at all to protect America, then we might support it. It's going to leave parts of the United States, including residential subdivisions, RV parks, churches, the National Butterfly Center, behind the border wall in this new no man's land, and everybody gets the gate code. So all of our members and 35,000 visitors each year are going to get the gate codes to the border wall. Doesn't this sound kind of preposterous?
Came here on an e-visa, you invested all this money, you hired people, based on your calculations, put back $3.5 million into the local economy, and there's no process for you to get a green card.
How hard can it be to find a path that says, okay, you got an E2 investment visa, you're here 5 years, 10 years, why not make the path to a green card a little bit easier? It shouldn't be so hard.
I was driving home. A young man ran out. He was wearing a white shirt. I pulled over and he comes to the window and tells me that his sister is sick. She looked to me like she was suffering from exposure, from dehydration, from starvation. It was a very tense situation. Border Patrol came up and asked us to all get out of the car. They started reading me my rights. And I said, what are you doing? Why are you Mirandizing me? What is this about? He said, you were being charged with transporting illegal aliens.
Although they have been forced apart by Donald Trump's stringent immigration policies, Jason voted for Trump in 2016, not thinking his undocumented wife with no criminal record would ever be considered a bad hombre. Why did you vote for Donald Trump if you knew his first words out of his mouth were everyone from Mexico is a rapist or a murderer.
I've hinged everything on the bad hombres.
Right.
Because to me and anyone that I ever speak with, if you say a bad hombre, you don't talk about a housewife that's
sure, of course,
never done anything.
I think when people say that I can't talk to so-and-so person because of their views, or, they cut people out of their life because of their political views, I feel like it's treating a sickness with drinking poison. It's not the solution, and it makes things worse. So if you're not able to talk to someone that disagrees with you, that says more about you as a person than it does about the person that you're refusing to talk to.
Queen Sugar is the hit television drama airing on the OWN network. In the series' third season, a Vietnamese-American family joined the show. Elise Din, who plays the mother, Miss Van, joins me today to discuss the show. How old were you when you left Vietnam?
I was 8. I went to school there. I got up to 2nd grade, and I remember our house. The memories are very indelible. They left an imprint. I remember the day that we left. I remember I had to beg my grandfather to come with me, and he wouldn't, because he said, I'm an old man and I will take my chances here. My grandfather died there, and I never got to see him again.
Tonight's vigil offers New Yorkers the chance to advocate for stronger federal laws around guns. Tell us a little bit about your role today and what you did.
So I'm the Attorney General of the great state of New York, and I'm here today to talk about gun violence. But I'm tired of vigils, I'm tired of candles, I'm tired of prayers. It's time that we take action.
And in order to solve this problem, it's not good enough just to call it terrorism out here in the public. We need to call it terrorism in the statute. We need to address the rhetoric around immigration in this country, because it is directly responsible for what happened in El Paso.
I'm at the New York City climate strike.
We all share this planet, and it's time we start acting now.
In many countries, climate destabilization has already created climate refugees.
They leave to us teenagers, us children. Do you think they hear us? We will make them hear us.
Today, I'm coming at you from the Manhattan branch of the We the People March.
83 years, and I have never in my life seen anything like this president.
We are not leaving, we are not stopping. We're taking this to November 2020.
I'm here with Jumaane Williams, public advocate. What are some things that everyday Americans can do to fight back?
Please fill out the census next year. It is remarkably important, and people don't understand how important it is. We've been here before, and we got lulled to sleep. We got to make sure we don't fall back to sleep.
We're celebrating the Dominican Day Parade right here in New York City.
We come here, we're hardworking people, we pay taxes, and we definitely help the whole country.
You don't ask to sit at the seat of the table. You kick the door in and say, I'm going to sit here, and if you like it or not. You fought for your right to do so, and that's what I'm telling the immigrants to do as well.
What's up, Brad Squad? We are here at the Canyon of Heroes. We're celebrating the World Cup Women's National Soccer Team victory.
We're at the 37th annual Coney Island Mermaid Parade.
Here at the Cinco de Mayo Parade.
We are at New York City Pride.
We're here in New York City. Yeah, Chinese New Year, you hear that?
I am at the 92nd annual Feast of San Gennaro.
Here at the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Today, I'm bringing you inside the Universal Hip Hop Parade for Social Justice right here in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
We're here to celebrate Holi, the Indian Festival of Colors.
We are enjoying the kickoff of the Cherry Blossom Festival.
Guess what? We're here in New York City celebrating St. Patrick's Day. It's all about the green, as you can see.
I'm at the 50th anniversary of the African American Day Parade.
For the Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead celebration.
Today, I am taking you as close to Munich as possible. Munich on the East River in downtown New York City.
Got handed this apron. Does it say kiss the lawyer, kiss the chef? Nothing. Nothing like a lawyer cooking with his blazer on, right? I'll do it. I hope you have insurance. Oh, this is easy. I'm telling you, it's really, really good. You know what? Go get your own. I'm here with Dale Cole, the owner of Daps Eats. He was my former client at Spar and Bernstein, and now he opened up a restaurant. Get this plate. I know everybody's jealous, right?
When you eat something here and you're from the islands, it
Right.
should take you back to that island.
Go home, you get your green card, come back, and now you're a business owner.
Yes,
You're the American dream. Brought to you by the fabulous law offices of Spar and Bernstein.
Yeah.
That's right.
I like that. That's one visa, and I'm still within status. I'm planning to get married in Vegas, baby. Yeah, my fiance.
Well, Elvis is going to marry you. Welcome. Welcome to the little chapel. Welcome to the little chapel. We're going to marry this little lady over here.
Whoa.
Thank you very much, and don't forget to tip your waitress on the way out.
All right, Shane Williams on YouTube says, hey, Brad, I have a pending I-751 filed jointly with my wife 6 months after my wife filed for divorce while it was still pending. Where do I stand?
Let immigration know that your wife filed a divorce for you, submit it to immigration, and then they will convert the case from a joint application to a waiver application based on the fact that it's a bona fide marriage.
You've got a question. Our next question, and I know where this person is from because our next one is from Aki and Saltfish.
My first Facebook name,
Yeah.
I was called Matzo Ball, but I didn't want everybody to know where I was from. Matzo Ball and Bagel.
That's not real. That can't be real.
That was not real.
What the heck is Sunoco after response?
Keep it together. Keep it. Jenny's making me laugh.
Is that Jay Lish?
It's Jenny.
Said, what's the difference between an expungement and a verdict of vacation?
A verdict for a vacation means we're going to Jamaica! Woo! Expungement means that you were found guilty and now you are no longer guilty. Vacating means that you were never guilty from day one.
Which is the best?
Vacating. Expungement does not do anything for immigration.
Educate, entertain, and inform. That's what this show represents. I like that. Educate, entertain, and inform.
Remember that, Julie. We will see you all tomorrow at 5:30 or a couple minutes after. We'll see. Tomorrow, have a great night. All right. So that was a little Democrat. That was only a little bit. And I saw in the comments the Brad squad was a little upset, but wait a second. This didn't work out very well. There we go. That didn't really work out very well, but
Why is it sticking
Happy
to the
we are at our 2-year anniversary. But what we will do for the Brad squad, okay? What we will do for the Brad squad is when we come back, we're taking a little break. We're going to be back on the 24th of October.
That's right.
And when we come back on the 24th of October, Belgium camp.
Don't talk to me, Brad.
Belgium camp.
Yeah, Brad.
When we come back on the 24th of October.
Yeah, Brad.
When we come back on the 24th of October. When we come back on the 24th of October, we will do a compilation. We will do a compilation.
I hate you.
We will do a. Are you listening to me, Belgium camp?
I've never listened to more, Brad.
Wait, Little Caesar and what's her
Cersei Red. And pizza.
Slice. Get up. Stand up. You're allowed to stand up. You're allowed.
2 full years of
Yes.
this, y'all.
Would you believe that? These people stay under the desk every show. Every show they're under the desk. No, but what we will do, they were not under the desk every show. That would be weird. But what we will do is when we come back, Belgium King, you're listening to me.
I'm listening, Brad.
I said the same sentence 10 times. When we come back, we will do a compilation of the best of the Brad Squad in our Brad Squad Spotlight. We're going to do a whole mashup of everybody.
Absolutely.
So we do not forget the people we love, so don't worry about it. And look at Belgium King right now. There he is.
I would like to take this as my punishment for apparently not including any of the Brad Squad.
I did that for y'all, Brad Squad.
So take this as my punishment. I'm willing to read social media rapid fire just like this.
So Julie, the TriCaster guy, we still got to do speed round, 90 seconds. Are you going to read it like this?
Yeah, damn right I'm going to read it like this, Brad. Unless you really don't want me to, but I'm just happy to be of service here. Well, this has got a little tougher. Okay.
All right, let's go. Quickly, 90 seconds, 15 questions.
Seconds.
Let's go.
Wait, we don't have a clock or 90 seconds on it.
That's because I think Julian the TriCaster guy's on overtime, and he doesn't get paid overtime.
Oh, okay. Well, can I just go clockless? Do I go clockless?
You know what? Let the Brad Squad count. Let's go. 15 questions. Go.
Okay. Derek said, the I-130 I applied for for an immediate relative. How long to approve the NOA2?
The NOA2?
How long until the NOA2 approval?
To the adjustment approval?
Yeah.
Anywhere from 1 day to 3 years.
Sonia Daly said, is emergency Medicaid a public charge?
Yes. No, not emergency, no.
MK said, is the housing tax credit program part of a public benefit or public charge?
If you're getting it because of an income level that you're below, it's public charge.
Halal says, how long does it take to get a reply on an RFE if a I-130 petition?
At least 120 days.
Just another said, when should I add my son to he was born while a F4 visa was pending?
Write the National Visa Center where your application should be and add him on with a birth certificate.
Kay says, how long for USCIS to acknowledge they received your application?
2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Braithwaite said, my friend recently went on her I-485 interview and I'm waiting on a decision.
Are you kidding me?
She was wondering, is it
now
safe?
we got more.
Is it safe to travel on her combo card to Jamaica?
It is safe to travel as long as you're
I don't get paid enough for this family. I do not.
Layla saying, I applied for the I-130 F2A.
By the way, we're going to blow up the studio.
Right.
Yeah.
F2A
I would say so.
So I applied for the I-130 F2A. Does the insurance apply for a child under 21 as well?
Does insurance apply?
Does the insurance? Yes.
Parvaz Haji said, if someone is disabled at birth, could they get citizenship because of it?
Disabled at birth? You don't get citizenship because you're disabled at birth. You get citizenship if you're born in America.
Right.
Okay, Biz saying my I-485 was updated that fingerprint review was completed. Please, what does this mean?
It means that they're waiting to schedule you for an interview, which hopefully will happen soon.
Brat Squad, none of you are counting how many questions we're doing,
so
if you guys can do that.
How many? We're at 12. We've got 3 more to go.
Biz said,
that.
oh, thank God. Alejandra said, how fast after my parents receive their green cards can they file an I-130 for my unmarried siblings over 21? Do parents need to have 1 year of work and taxes first?
No. File the day you get your green card.
D Bean saying, hey Brad, can I use my previous bank account before marriage and joint account with husband as proof that I can support myself in an interview in Barbados?
I don't know. I would need to see. It's a totality of circumstances. You can't do it based on one document now.
Adesumbo said, can I file a mandamus for a case pending in a U.S. consulate abroad?
Yes.
Isn't that it?
But that was it.
That's 15. By the way, kaboom, like 10 times here, right?
Oh, yeah, the least speedy speed round of all time.
All right, comments of the day. Take those balloons off, Belgium Cam, and comments of the day, please. Comments of the day.
The hair can't be better. Yeah.
I'm trying to help her.
He did. He really was.
All right, our first comment of the day.
Our first comment of the day is from Tamika Nelson, who said, I still hold that place for ratified marriage.
She does.
She's absolutely right.
Yeah.
She was the first guest.
First guest, yes.
All right, our second comment of the day comes from D Bean saying, I just watched Kim, Yo-Yo, and Brad's interaction and camaraderie during the show. Just makes me smile.
Aww.
You could not have picked a better team. The dream team at Brad's Show Live.
I agree. We are a dream team.
Aww,
we kind of are. It's true. We are very much a dream team.
It is. We're like the Three Musketeers.
We are.
What? Aw, that's really sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our third comment from Tally said, D Bean, agreed. I'm watching the show on 2 phones, 2 tablets, 1 computer, and a TV. This is how crazy it is around here.
Oh my God!
Wow! Talk about a double fister.
That is not. You don't even have enough body. You don't even have enough body parts to hold all those tablets.
That's a sextuple fister. So let's not do that.
Head. Elbows.
That's like deformities. You know, she has like 6 arms or something.
Right. All right. Our number 4 is from Adesumbo saying, I must confess, what I've gained listening to this show is eye-opening, and I intend to let others know there is hope after all. Thank you guys all. God bless.
Thank you.
Aww.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Our next one comes from the absolutely beautiful Myrtle Ray, who said, my American dream is to put color behind us and live as one.
Oh, nice. And we have one about the public charge from Tali Tali say, wow, thank you, Uncle Brad, for breaking it down. You are awesome.
Thank you.
And finally, that recap got Evans Michelle feeling a little bit like she's ready for a musical, Brad, because she said, we need a Brad karaoke live show.
I agree.
We've talked about it for so long. I put a whole singing version
I thought
for
we were doing Bradshaw Live, the original musical.
Right, where we just sing all of schmoozing.
Correct.
And your answers.
Correct.
That'd be
I'm with it.
I would love to see you sing answers.
All right, is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you all for joining us on our 2-year anniversary. We're going to take about 10 days off. We're going to be back live on October 24th, which is a Thursday, right?
Thursday, yes,
right,
that's
so we're
correct.
going to be taking 2 weeks off, and we'll see you back next Thursday on October 24th. Have a great 2 weeks, guys. See you soon. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?